40%. Chapter 201 The Big Leak Before the Extremely Hot Climate. Once on deck, sure enough, a hot breath rushed over. Qin Tian looked up at the sky. The sky was cloudless. The sun that had just risen into the midair had faded from its fiery red, exuding a light that people dare not look directly at. This made Qin Tian feel helpless. I don't know how many days the extreme weather will be raging this time. According to the situation stated by the will of the planet, she intervened a little that time, increasing the amount of supplies for World of Warships. But the law of the universe is in order to maintain balance. This increases the frequency of extreme weather. So for what happened next? Qin Tian also completely lost the feeling of being able to control everything before. The future is developing rapidly in an unpredictable direction. Shaking his head, he didn't care about these anymore. Qin Tian went around the control room. Feel the cool temperature. This relieved him a lot. Then sitting on the bridge, he opened the plane map with a thought. Put your eyes on 330 and glance over. Within 30 nautical miles of Fangyuan, there are all wooden barrels. But in this extremely hot climate, there is no canopy for shade. He didn't want to let himself experience the feeling of heatstroke. So I gave up the idea of going out to salvage. After exploring for more than half an hour, no adventures such as treasure chests and sea beasts were found. Qin Tian didn't bother to explore anymore. With a thought, the trading market was opened. Going to see if there is anything that can be used on it. As soon as the result is opened, it can be seen that the transaction price of many materials above has changed from water to ice water. Obviously, the vast majority of people have already foreseen the arrival of extremely hot weather. Start preparing for the next few days. See ice water. It was only then that Qin Tian remembered that he forgot to make plastic bottles for Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian after eating. So he got up and greeted Yao Lang and the others. Then he quickly returned to the cabin restaurant. I saw some empty plastic bottles piled up in front of Ma Yongganian and Yu Dai in the kitchen. The two are drinking water. Captain, see Qin Tian coming. The two hurriedly greeted each other. Qin Tian nodded and said, I just remembered that I haven't made empty plastic bottles for you yet. Ma Yongganian said with a smile. These are the empty plastic bottles you made 2 days ago, Captain, and Lao Yu and I took them out and filled them with water to freeze them. Qin Tian nodded and said, it's possible, but it's far from enough. As he spoke, he consumed plastic and made more than 200 empty bottles for the two to collect water. And he himself returned to his room. They also made plastic bottles and received more than 300 bottles of water. Put them all in the freezer and freezer. After finishing these, Qin Tian sat on the wooden bed. Open the trading market page by page and start to scroll down. Not to mention, since the increase in material barrels, the items traded on this are more and more abundant and diverse. Especially now that we are about to face extreme heat. Many God chosen in order to be able to exchange enough water resources. He even put up some drawings of materials that he treasured. Qin Tian quickly saw several things on it. Advanced Y1130 near anti-aircraft blueprint, exchange for 35 bottles of water, 20 bottles of ice water. Epic Mk73 to 203 naval gun blueprint, exchange for 70 bottles of water, 55 bottles of ice water. Advanced UQD 3100 marine gas turbine blueprint, exchange for 40 bottles of water, 25 bottles of ice water. Wooden disc synthesis skill book, exchange for 15 bottles of water, 8 bottles of ice water. Black soil 1000 caddies, exchange for 100 bottles of water, 85 bottles of ice water. Exchange while receiving water. Soon Qin Tian exchanged the 3 blueprints, the synthesis skill book and 1000 gins of black soil. After getting something, Qin Tian first chose to use the wooden disc skill synthesis book inside. Open the composition panel. I saw that there was another section for a wooden plate inside. Read the requirements. A unit of poor quality wood is crafted into a wooden disc. Qin Tian is very satisfied with this. Now it's time to cook. Old Yu doesn't have to worry about not having a big plate to use. Then Qin Tian looked at the other 3 blueprints in his hand. Close-in guns, large caliber naval guns, and gas turbines. These are all good things that he needs right now. Especially close-in guns. This thing is the last door for the battleship. At present, the 1837mm double-linked fully automatic anti-aircraft guns that are automatically unlocked after the battleship is upgraded are really too weak. The last time he single-handedly went to kill the fleet of the Sakura Kid. The missiles fired at him by the other party were actually more than 300 missiles. However, his 1837mm twin-linked fully automatic anti-aircraft guns were able to intercept more than 100 anti-ship missiles with all their strength. Nearly 70% of the missiles broke through the defense and landed on his battleship. That is the elite fleet that the opponent is not the Sakura Devil. Warship armaments are not too high quality. If only higher quality. There will be fewer that can be intercepted. But if it is replaced with 18Y1130 near anti-aircraft guns, it will be different. Not to mention 300 missiles. Even if 100 of the 500 missiles successfully broke through the bullet rain and intercepted and hit his battleship, it would be considered good. Thinking of this, Qin Tian took the lead in setting his sights on the advanced Y1130 close-in cannon blueprint. Item: Advanced Y1130 near anti-aircraft blueprint. Quality: blue. Production requirements: low-quality plastic 500, low-quality metal sheet 300, low-quality nails 200, see animal teeth 30. Efficacy: an 11-tube 30mm rotary tube rapid-fire gun short-range defense weapon, which can fire 11,000 rounds of bullets per minute, and 8 seats can be unlocked when made. Ordinary advancement: low-quality plastic 2000, low-quality metal sheet 2000, low-quality nails 1500, see animal teeth 100, can be advanced to a purple epic Y1130 near defense gun, and 12 seats can be unlocked by making it. Premium advances: ordinary plastic 2000, ordinary metal sheet 2000, ordinary nails 1500, elite sea beast teeth 100, can be advanced into orange legendary Y1130 near defense cannon production can unlock 16 seats. Advanced advancement: 3000 high-quality plastics, 2000 high-quality metal sheets, 1500 high-quality nails, 100 top-quality sea animal teeth, which can be advanced into red mythical Y1130 near defense guns, and 20 seats can be unlocked by making it. Seeing advanced can actually unlock 20 Yen 1130 close-in anti-aircraft guns. The corners of Qin Tian's mouth immediately raised high. This is actually 2 more than the 1837mm twin-linked fully automatic anti-aircraft guns that the battleship automatically unlocks. Really, something that costs money is always better than something that is given away for free. As for the 37mm twin-linked fully automatic anti-aircraft gun, there are 36 barrels. That doesn't work either. According to this theory, the Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun is equipped with 11 barrels. After reading the drawings of the near anti-cannon, Qin Tian looked at the epic level 0.0 Mk73-203mm naval gun blueprint again. Item: Epic Mk73-203 naval gun blueprint. Quality: purple. Production requirements: low-quality plastic 2000, low-quality metal sheet 2000, low-quality nails 1000, see animal teeth 70. Efficacy: it can be used to make purple epic Mk73-203mm large caliber naval gun. Ordinary advancement: low-quality plastic 5000, low-quality metal sheet 2000, low-quality nails 2000, sea beast teeth 100, can be advanced to orange legendary Mk73-203 large caliber naval gun. Premium advances: ordinary plastic 6000, ordinary metal sheet 4000, ordinary nails 3000, top quality sea beast teeth 100, can be advanced into a red mythical Mk73-203mm large caliber naval gun. Advanced advancement: 5000 high-quality plastics, 5000 high-quality metal sheets, 3000 high-quality nails, 200 top-quality sea animal teeth, which can be advanced into colorful creation level Mk73-203mm large caliber naval guns. 40%. Chapter 202 Mythical Class Y1130 Close-in Anti-Aircraft Gun, Popular Science Knowledge about Starships. After reading the advanced requirements of Epic Mk73-203mm naval gun blueprint, Qin Tian rubbed his temples with some headaches. Another 200 top-grade sea beast teeth. This guy, the king-level sea beast, is really hard to come across. It is simply not available. In the past nearly a month. How many places has he traveled? As a result, they didn't even encounter a king-level sea beast. I have encountered some ordinary ones. But it didn't do much for him at all. Never mind, let's get out the mythical Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun first. Think here. Qin Tian took the blueprint of the Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun and went on the deck. The blazing sun released light and heat like a fireball. It's about 11 o'clock now. It has been more than 3 hours since he went down to make plastic bottles. But now the temperature has definitely risen from more than 40 degrees to 50 or 60 degrees. This increase in temperature is simply terrifying. This is the semi-digital world of warships. If put O6 on the Earth star, such a temperature and sunlight, it won't be long before the warships are probably out of order. Don't dare to waste any more time. Qin Tian first unloaded all the 18 green quality 37mm double-linked automatic anti-aircraft guns. Then use the divine detective technique to use it against the advanced Y1130 near defense cannon blueprint in your hand. Directly select Advanced behind Advanced. The manufacture of the mythical Y1130 close and anti-aircraft gun requires 3,000 high-quality plastics, 2,000 high-quality metal sheets, 1,500 high-quality nails, and 100 top-quality sea beast teeth. Do you want to manufacture them? Manufacture. Qin Tian nodded quickly and said. With his consent, I saw near-defense naval guns equipped with tracking radars and photoelectric infrared detection balls suddenly appearing in the place where the 37mm dual-link automatic anti-aircraft guns were installed just now. Looking at the mighty near-defense guns with pedestals, Qin Tian thought, opened the attribute panel of one of the mythical Y1130 near anti-aircraft guns. Item. Mythical Y1130 near anti-aircraft gun. Quality. Red. 355-50. Effective range. 3,000 meters. Target. 40. Durability. 6,000. Effective rate of fire. 10,000 rounds per minute. Requirement. Every 1,000 units of high-quality metal pieces consumed can be fired for 1 minute. Introduction. The super close and anti-aircraft gun with combined detection capabilities of radar and photoelectric ball can track about 40 targets at a time for interception, and can even intercept anti-ship missiles at 4 times the speed of sound. It is super lethal. Amazing. After reading the attribute panel of the mythical Y1130 close and anti-aircraft gun, Qin Tian admired in his heart as he walked to the bottom of the cabin. 350, 550 attack power. It is estimated that it will take 3 or 4 seconds to hit the Genesis-class anti-ship missile. As for those anti-ship missiles of mythical level or even below mythical level, it is estimated that it can be done in a second or 2. But the only downside is that it's too expensive. 1,000 units of fine metal sheet per minute. This is a large naval battle. Live and drive for 10 minutes. Wouldn't that consume 1 W of excellent metal sheet resources? But the damage is there. Consume as much as you can. Anyway, war is not about resources. Just like the Battle of Tianshu Island, many of the Eurasian Federation's chosen ones didn't even have the resources to replenish a missile in the second half. Can only be stuck in the crowd, waiting helplessly for the fate of death. So get more resources yourself, and then you will have everything. Dick. Now the close defense problem of my battleship is almost the same. Qin Tian walked while thinking flatteredly. He still remembers when the cruiser was just upgraded. He looked at the 37mm twin-linked automatic anti-aircraft guns that deal 90 damage each. But the attack damage of this Y1130 close-in defense gun can reach up to 550. This is invincible. Think here. With a thought, he opened the attribute panel of the battleship. He glanced at the attack power column, seeing that the above has indeed become 35947-40233. Now that the barrier problem of the battleship is solved, then there is the question of the powertrain. Go back to your room. Qin Tian took out the advanced UQD 3100 marine gas turbine blueprint again. After consuming 4,000 high-quality metal sheets and 1,000 high-quality nails, 4 power machines much larger than the previous ZH 2500 gas turbine appeared in front of his eyes. He moved the 4 UQD 3100 gas turbines to the gas turbine cabin. After replacing the previous 4 ZH 2500 gas turbines, he opened the cruiser properties panel again. I saw that the speed above has changed from 28 plus 5 knots to 32 plus 5 knots. Here, Qin Tian's battleship is completely without any obvious shortcomings. Throw the 4 ZH 2500 gas turbines and the 18 green quality 37mm double-linked automatic anti-aircraft guns on the deck into curry. Just when he was about to go back to the lounge, I met Ma Yongganian, who came to look for him. Captain, I found you. The meal is ready. Hurry up and eat. Qin Tian nodded upon hearing this. Walking to the restaurant with the other party, he asked, Old Ma, what time is it? It's already past 1:40, Captain. Ma Yongganian replied. The two came to the restaurant. I saw that Rui was already in his seat. And look at the wet hair. Apparently it was from the shower just now. Captain. 907 saw Qin Tian. Rui also got up gracefully and said hello. He nodded with a smile. Qin Tian entered the kitchen first. With a thought, open the synthesis panel. Consume wood to make 20 log discs. Facing Yu Dai, he asked, Old Yu, do you think these 2,000 wooden plates are enough? If not, I'll make some more. Enough, Captain. Yu Dai was overjoyed when he saw these 20 wooden plates. Hearing Qin Tian's words, he immediately nodded and said it was enough. Qin Tian heard the words and said, okay. Then he went out and sat next to Rui, and asked, Rui, let me ask you a question. Rui looked at Qin Tian curiously and said, what's the problem? Qin Tian asked, does your Chengxing Empire also have starships? Hear Qin Tian's question. Rui immediately nodded and said, yes. Qin Tian's eyes lit up when he heard the words, and he hurriedly asked, can you tell me about the starships? For example, the level of the starships, the combat methods of the starships, including the Zerare starships, are the same as yours. Certainly. Rui nodded, and immediately began to popularize science to Qin Tian. The history of the warship development of our Chengxing Empire is about 800 years. The entire warship system is divided into 3 levels, namely T1 level, T2 level and the strongest T3 level, starship. The types of our starships have many similarities with yours. For example, they are also divided into frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and flagships with drones as the main means of attack. 40%. Chapter 203 Diversified Starships, Black Soil That Can Be Advanced. Qin Tian listened to Rui's explanation with relish. At this time, Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian also brought up portions of grilled moss dragon meat. So Qin Tian asked Rui to talk while eating. At this moment, Wei Chen and Ma Fei also walked in. So a group of people sat at the dining table and ate, listening to Rui explaining to Qin Tian. As for the battle mode, it's actually similar to your naval battle, nothing more than more methods, more powerful weapons, and an additional shield function. In fact, to put it bluntly, Starship pays more attention to the quality of equipment. And the types are diverse. For example, the missile compartment can effectively reduce the missile strike damage of enemy ships to you. Laser conduction can effectively reduce the laser damage of enemy ships to you. The multifunctional steel plate can reduce the damage of enemy ships to your naval guns and drones. As for shields, that's even more important. It is equivalent to the second life of the starship. The higher the quality, the higher the energy of the shield, and the less likely your starship will be damaged. And each starship generally has 2 to 3 types of shields installed. For example, plasma shields are used to defend against lasers. The strong magnetic stand shield is used to defend against metal bullets. Particle shields are used to defend against missiles, meteorites, and drones. In general, these 3 commonly used shields are almost the same. As for the lizards you mentioned, Captain, in fact, their starships were far inferior to ours at the beginning, but because they, Novi and Ryan, both cosmic civilizations, were funded by the stronger Sauron civilization. The ability to fight against us. But now that so many years have passed, the opponent's technology has probably improved a lot. Maybe they also plundered some starship technology from our Chengxing Empire to learn and upgrade. So I'm not sure how far the opponent's current technology has developed. But one thing is certain. Captain, if your civilization wants to resist the opponent's attack, unless you abandon the previous suspicions and gather all forces together to build thousands of aircraft carriers and a few battleships. Otherwise there is almost no hope. Quote. Hear these words from Ray. Qin Tian was speechless. It was hard enough. If the Zerare people learn the technology of the Chengxing Empire again and continue to flourish, isn't that even more difficult? As for thousands of aircraft carriers and tens of thousands of battleships, Qin Tian could only think about it. Not at all. According to Zhang Zongjun's words, he has always been used to being a lighthouse of overlord power, but he never dreamed of letting the Yanlong Empire rise smoothly and sit on an equal footing with their lighthouse empire. It would be nice to run over every now and then to fight with him. Do you still expect everyone to abandon the past and create brilliance together? The generation of the ancestors probably didn't think about it that way. And in the time-space live broadcast room, all the viewers were dumbfounded after hearing Rui's remarks. Fake. Are the Zerare people really that scary? There is hope for more than 1,000 aircraft carriers and more than 10,000 battleships. Isn't this difficult for the strong? Zyba, indeed, let alone more than 1,000 aircraft carriers. I feel that it is not bad to have more than 1,000 battleships within 10 years. The question is, did you guys not read the dialogue after God Chin rescued this person? This is the ancestor of the first era in the world of warships. In the last era, he used the mecha to fight against the civilization of the Zarer people. To the Zarer people must know more than us. So, is there a possibility that the Zarer civilization has been wiped out by other civilizations, so we are not in any danger? Hey, wash up and go to sleep upstairs, you have everything in your dreams. That is, are you lying to yourself with your impure self? If the civilization of the Zarer people is destroyed, why should the will of the world worry about it? And who can guarantee that the Zarian civilization will be destroyed, and there will be no next Zarian civilization to target us? Don't forget, this Rui also talked about the stronger Sauron civilization. 1. FK, so what hope can we have? Shiete, from this point of view, it seems that the chosen ones from all over the world must unite. Otherwise, wouldn't all of our chosen ones be wiped out when the Zular people come in? Yes, see, it seems that this is indeed the case at present. After all, there will not be another World of Warships in World of Warships to save our God's chosen, and if our God's chosen is finished, it will not be far from the destruction of our humanity. Qin Tian never dreamed of it. Because of this conversation he had with Ray. It actually caused many foreigners from the outside world to tend to peaceful development. And in World of Warships, Qin Tian, who was full of meat, couldn't help but miss the meat and vegetable dishes and delicious rice on Tianshu Island. He looked at the sea and asked, "Old Yu, how long will it take for our rice to mature?" Yu Dai heard Qin Tian's words. After calculating the time with pinching fingers, he said, "There should be about 20 days left." 20 days, not too long. Qin Tian nodded. And at this moment, he suddenly thought of the vegetable greenhouse blueprint and those seeds that Zhang Zongjun had given him before. Didn't I trade 1,000 caddies of black soil? This black soil should be the same as that red soil, right? Maybe adding those black soils can make rice and vegetables grow faster. Think here. Qin Tian couldn't care less about chatting anymore. After saying hello to everyone, he hurried back to his lounge. He opened the 2 big bags in the corner. I saw that the inside was full of pitch black soil. He immediately opened the property panel of the black soil to check it. Item: 1,000 caddies of black soil. Quality: blue. Efficacy: the black soil in the different world is rich in fertility and can grow any crops. The crops grown in black soil have a very small probability of getting 1% extra harvest. Question mark question mark question mark. Qin Tian was stunned when he saw this. What the hell is this? Blue quality soil. He was patronizing and sweeping goods in the trading market at that time. I didn't pay attention to the details of the soil. Subconsciously, he linked the black soil with the red soil he opened. Think about it now. I was really careless. If it is really such a perverted attribute like red soil, how could the other party sell dozens of bottles of water? I guess I kept it for myself. Alas, nothing to rejoice in. A loss is not a loss. The main reason is that it is useless to get so much soil by yourself. Etc. Qin Tian seemed to have suddenly thought of something. The eyes suddenly light up. Why don't you use divine detective technique to see if this black soil can be advanced? At least it is blue quality soil. Maybe it can be advanced to the mythical level. Do whatever comes to mind. He immediately had a thought. Using the divine detective technique, he opened the property panel of the black soil again. Item: 1,000 caddies of black soil. Quality: blue. Efficacy: the soil in this different world is rich in fertility and can grow any crops. Crops grown in black soil have a very small probability of getting 1% extra harvest. Ordinary advancement: 1,000 low-quality wood, 100 units of water, 50 sea beast teeth, can be advanced into purple epic black soil. Premium advancement: ordinary wood 3,000, 500 units of water, 100 elite sea beast teeth, can be advanced into orange legendary black soil. Advanced advancement: 5,000 high-quality wood, 2,000 units of water, 100 top-quality sea beast teeth, which can be advanced to red mythical black soil creation. 40%. Chapter 204 Mythical Black Soil, Build a Vegetable Greenhouse. Question mark question mark question mark. When you see that upgrading the soil also requires the best sea beast teeth. Qin Tian is completely living in Bungbu. What kind of setting is this riding a horse? Why do you need sea beast teeth to upgrade a soil? Why are the soil on your land linked to the creatures in the sea? Is the bull's head wrong with the horse's mouth? Qin Tian was really completely speechless. After he finished making the Y1130 close-in anti-aircraft gun, there were only 170 top-quality sea beast teeth left. Originally, he was still thinking about where to get 30 more Genesis-class Mk73-203mm naval guns. At that time, just replace the orange double 57 naval gun that should have been eliminated long ago. But now this soil upgrade actually requires 100 top-grade sea beast teeth. This messed up his plans. I don't know if the king-level sea beast I encounter next time can burst out 200 teeth. But speechless is speechless. Qin Tian still decided to upgrade the 1000 jin of black soil. Because he wasn't sure when he could meet another king-level sea beast. And right now, the 1000 jin of black soil has been advanced to the mythical level. It is of great use to him. Otherwise, his 1000 jin of black soil would be waste soil. It is useless to leave it, the haze of pity. Made up my mind. Qin Tian 987 left his lounge directly. Come to the restaurant to find Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian. Captain. The two had just cleaned up the kitchen and dining room. Seeing Qin Tian approaching, he hastily said hello. Well, Lao Yu, Lao Ma, hurry up and fetch water for me, I need it urgently. As he spoke, Qin Tian began to synthesize empty plastic bottles. But Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian, who heard his shout, did not dare to delay. Immediately ran over to pick up the water bottle on the ground and started to collect water. With the efforts of the three, it took more than an hour to finish the 2000 bottles of water. After saying, hard work, to the two of them, Qin Tian immediately returned to his lounge. Using detective technique, I chose to advance to the 2 bags of black soil. Advanced mythical black soil requires 5,000 high-quality wood, 2,000 units of water, and 100 top-quality sea beast teeth. Do you want to advance? Yes. Following, Qin Tian nodded. Suddenly, 2 golden lights flashed on the 2 bags of soil on the ground. Qin Tian immediately checked the properties panel of the 2 bags of black soil again. Item. Mythical grade black soil 1000 jin. Quality. Red. Efficacy. One of the top soils in the different world, with super rich ageb fertility, can grow any crops, and can increase the yield per mu by 80%, has a medium probability of triggering advanced mutations, and grows more special quality advanced variety. When you see this earth-shaking property panel, a satisfied smile appeared on Qin Tian's face involuntarily. 6 Wow. Not to mention the 80% increase in yield per mu. Just the middle probability of triggering advanced mutations in the back, and the growth of advanced varieties with more special qualities is enough to make Qin Tian happy to bloom. Take rice for example. If it can be mutated into a big harvest with higher nutritional value, faster yield and faster maturity. That was a great thing for him. Not a second was wasted. Qin Tian moved 2 bags of soil and walked to the planting cabin where the rice was planted. As a result, he ran into Yu Dai, who was about to go to the planting cabin on the way. Captain, are you? Qin Tian, who was moving 2 bags of soil in the sea, had curiosity in his eyes. Ha ha ha, it's just right for you to come here. After a while, you will pour one of the bags of soil into the planting field. This is high-quality black soil, which is very good for rice growth. Qin Tian saw Yu Hai coming over. He immediately greeted the other party to come to the planting cabin together. And when Yu Dai heard that Qin Tian had obtained high-grade soil, that is of course very happy. Open one of the large bags as soon as you are in the grow pod. Taking a homemade shovel and preparing to fill the land. Qin Tian didn't care about the sea. He looked at the golden ears of wheat in the plantation. The face is also full of longing. As long as the first wave of rice is mature, then it can be said that he no longer has to worry about food and drink on his boat. And the happiness index of the crew can also rise to a higher level. Think vegetables. Qin Tian immediately took out the vegetable greenhouse blueprint that Zhang Zongjun gave him. Use divine detective technique to take a look. Large vegetable greenhouse drawing. Quality. Green. Area. 50 to 100 square meters. Creation requirements. Low quality wood 200, low quality metal sheet 300, low quality plastic 400. Efficacy. It can be used to build a greenhouse that can grow vegetables. Ordinary advancement. Low quality wood 500, low quality metal sheet 600, low quality plastic 800, can be advanced to a blue high-end large vegetable greenhouse. High quality goods advanced. ordinary wood 500, ordinary metal sheet 600, ordinary plastic 800, can be advanced into purple epic large-scale vegetable greenhouse. Advanced advancement. High-quality wood 1000, high-quality metal sheet 800, high-quality plastic 1000, can be advanced into an orange legendary large-scale vegetable greenhouse. After seeing the requirements of 50 to 100 square meters, Qin Tian asked Yu Dai, "Old Yu, I am going to build a vegetable greenhouse, and I need an area of 50 to 100 square meters. Which newly expanded cabin in our cabin is eligible?" Hearing Qin Tian's words, Yu Hai's eyes lit up. After thinking for a while, he said, "Captain, after you go out, turn right to the third cabin. That cabin should be more in line with your requirements." Qin Tian nodded when he heard the words, pointed to the taxi on the ground and asked, "How is it? Do you think it's enough to have these 500,000 ugliness? Do you want me to leave half of it for you?" Yu Dai sprinkled black soil into the ground, and said with a smile, "Enough, Captain, the soil in this planting field is not bad, and the 500 caddies of black soil are sprinkled in, which is to let the properties of this black soil into it." "Enough." Qin Tian listened and nodded, thinking about it too. "Then you do it first, I'll take the other bag and fill it up for the vegetable greenhouse." Finished. He moved another bag of black soil and walked towards the third cabin on the right turn that Yu Hai said. "As soon as you enter, it really looks like a planting cabin. The space inside is just right." Qin Tian took the blueprints and immediately consumed materials for advanced advancement. Building a large vegetable greenhouse requires 1,000 high-quality wood, 800 high-quality metal sheets, and 1,000 high-quality plastics. "Will the captain build it?" "Put up." Qin Tian nodded, with the disappearance of drawings. Immediately afterwards, the cabin began to change continuously. It is the same as the construction of a large-scale planting ecological cabin. Floors are replaced by soil. Organic moss appears again on the walls. A bright artificial sun in midair is responsible for providing sufficient photosynthesis for the land and crops in the cabin. For this scene, the people in the live broadcast room are already immune. Even many Gentiles who have already begun to think about the great unity in the future are happy to hear about it. Rejoice for Qin Tian. Because the stronger Qin Tian is, the less likely they will be wiped out by the alien civilization of the Zarer people in the future. After all, when the aliens in the present world invaded, in 3 months, the will of the planet came up with the game of God's chosen entering the world of warships to bind the gods favored. This can be said to be the beginning of a great unification of the world, because the signs of alliances were snuffed out in this way. 41%. Chapter 205. Prepare to make a wave of disaster fortune. Because I saw hope. Because careerists see even greater benefits from it. So the matter of the Great Alliance was strangled in the cradle. Then happened the Eurasian Federation God chosen to attack the 3 islands of Yanlong Beidou. It caused the main army of aliens to besiege the Yanlong Empire. And the never-ending infighting in World of Warships. Although there are also many losses. But overall, except that the Yanlong Empire is more miserable than those small countries with few population and resources. Most of the rest of the countries have no injuries, muscular injuries. On the contrary, they are all delayed and developed with time. Possess the strength to resist alien offal to a certain extent. With it, they even have the ability to fight back. But the current civilization of the Zarer people is different. That is an interstellar civilization that directly threatens all the chosen ones in World of Warships. And the strength is much stronger than all the chosen ones. Once the chosen ones in World of Warships were killed, those who lost the protection of the gods will be completely reduced to the alien miscellaneous biological energy in this world. This is a major event related to the life of every blue star. Can't help but they don't care. And World of Warships. After Qin Tian saw the artificial sun above his head and the organic moss on the wall, there was a look of surprise in his eyes. He didn't expect the vegetable greenhouse to have these 2 good things. An artificial sun can increase the growth rate of crops by 20%. Organic moss absorbs carbon dioxide, releases oxygen, and assists the planting room to adjust the ecological environment to the greatest extent. Then he turned his gaze to the large vegetable field in the middle. Item: large vegetable greenhouse planting site. Quality: orange. Area: 100 square meters. Efficacy: a planting site with automatic adjustment of room temperature and ecological environment. Introduction: magical planting land. Planting any crops can get 200% extra harvest. With sufficient photosynthesis, it can shorten the maturity time of crops by 40% and is immune to all natural disasters. Really, after the advanced stage, it is similar to the ecological rice field planted next door to the ecological cabin. After Qin Tian muttered secretly in his heart. Then he opened the opening of the bag on the ground. Grab the mythical black soil and start to sprinkle it into the ground. Sprinkled less than half. Yu Dai walked in with a shovel in hand. He took over the job from Qin Tian. Old Yu, do you still keep those vegetable seeds? Qin Tian looked at Yu Dai and asked. When they left Tianshu Island, Zhang Zongjun gave them some vegetable seeds. Keep it, Captain, don't worry, I'll get the soil in and sow the seeds later. Yu Dai replied with a smile. Now there is rice and vegetables. There are also fruits and cucumbers that Qin Tian gives them from time to time. They don't have to worry about vitamins at all. So Yu Hai is in a good mood. Okay, then I'll leave it to you. Oh, yes, I suddenly remembered that there are still a few potatoes left in my place. When the time comes, you can grow them and plant them in. Qin Tian looked at Yu Dai and said with a smile. What kind of baby bump did I save? Proficient in farming and cooking. The work of the sailors is also meticulous and conscientious. It is simply a model representative of the top 10 all-round excellent crew members that are necessary for the captain's daily life. Go back to the lounge. After going to the bathroom to wash his hands and face, Qin Tian lay down on the wooden bed with nothing to do. Then with a thought, he opened the chat interface. It's been a long time since he peeked at the screen water. Now the extremely hot weather is coming. Presumably many people will have a strong demand for water resources, right? He wants to see what the current price of water resources is. I even bought karmas, and it's the damn hot weather again. What I hate the most is the hot weather. 200 units of inferior metal, 300 units of inferior plastic, please buy 10 bottles of ice water. It's so hot, why does it feel hotter this time than in the previous extremely hot weather? 230 units of low-quality metal, 350 units of low-quality wood to buy 50 bottles of ice water, some private chats, no do not disturb. Oh, Xiete, I just came out alive from the novice sea, why did I have to experience another wave of extremely hot weather on the second day? Baga, it's really hot. If you want to buy ice water, as long as it is under 400 units, it will take a long time. Sakura country people, I heard that you all evacuated from your Sakura island, is this true? No, gentlemen of the Federation, we are just moving strategically, and sooner or later we will go back again. Hey, little devils, when you say this, go ahead and upgrade a battleship first. I heard that your current homeland is currently being invaded and ravaged by those aliens, and I'm just waiting for you God-chosen to release a battleship. Come to save the world. Ask for flowers. Idiot, see this message. Countless Sakura devils couldn't help but curse out loud. In this extremely hot weather that almost roasts people, they couldn't feel the slightest warmth in their hearts. Some are just endless confusion and coldness. The sinking of the Yamato. Under Qin Tian's hands, he suffered continuously. In the current world, the mainland of the empire is being ravaged by aliens in all directions. In addition, even the islands that were finally obtained have to be surrendered. This left the cherry blossom God-chosen with less than 30,000 people completely at a loss as to what to do. They hated Qin Tian to the core. But what filled their hearts right now was more despair. General, someone has listed water resources on the trading market, 230 bottles of ice water, and 300 bottles of ordinary water. At this time, such a voice suddenly sounded from the flagship of the Sakura fleet that could not be seen as far as the eye could see. Miyayoshi Hidenobu was sitting in a control room with a small air conditioner. After hearing this message, he immediately stood up excitedly. Hurry up, buy it quickly, as long as the price does not exceed 400 units, we want it. The price of hanging 230 bottles of ice water is 380 units of inferior metal sheet, and the price of hanging 300 bottles of ordinary drinking water is 400 units of inferior plastic. Quote. Baga, hearing the quotation from his confidant, Gongji Shoksan gritted his teeth and said, Bye. Everyone can't escape the heat on the island in this weather and stay bored in the control room. If there is not enough ice water and water resources to replenish water, I'm afraid it won't last long. But, General. The confidant hesitated a little with his scalp numb. Say what you have to say. Miyaji Hidenobu frowned and shouted. He is now thinking about where to lead his soldiers to retreat next. Are you going to join the Lighthouse Empire? In the hope that the other party will give them another island? Or lead the army and just drift on the sea? Maybe one day with a bit of luck, you can discover a new island that has never been discovered before. If that is the case, the new island whose coordinates have not been revealed as their perfect habitat, they can be completely stabilized. Develop with peace of mind for a period of time. Use all the collected materials to quickly upgrade a battleship pill. 41%. Chapter 206 Crazy Pulling the Little Devil's Wool. General, I just saw that the guy who sells water is actually that Yanlong man. The confidant was a little terrified, and said with a numb scalp. Yanlong people? Which Yanlong people? Miyayoshi Hidenobu was stunned for a moment. But then he reacted. You mean that Qin Tian put the water there? His eyes were cold, and his whole body was like a powder keg that was about to explode. There was faint anger circulating crazily on the surface of his body. Yes, it is. Cold sweat was streaming down the confidant's forehead. Miyayoshi Hidenobu took a deep breath, then suppressed the murderous anger and said, Forget it, let's buy it. He thought that his general would give up, and he was ready to close the trading market panel. But who would have thought that his general would actually agree? This caused many little devils in the control room to show surprised expressions. Only 667 saw Gong Jisho and said, We have been waiting all morning, and we haven't seen a few people selling ice water and water, so it can be seen that most people are hoarding and have no plans to sell. Although Qin Tian used exactly 400 units of supplies to sell water after we made our voice, it does not lack the meaning of humiliating us, but for the sake of the empire, we must endure. Our empire can no longer afford the loss of any chosen one. Listen to Miyayoshi Hidenobu's speech. All the little devils in the control room showed firm expressions. Hey, for the empire, for our people, we will work hard to survive. Some little devils looked at Gongyoshi Hidenobu with fanaticism and respect on their faces and said, General, someone bought 50 bottles of ice water. Suddenly, the confidant who has been paying attention to the trading market hastily reported. Hurry up and buy all the water resources back. Hear the words of your heart. Miyayoshi Hidenobu said hurriedly. Hi, the confidant in charge of the warehouse nodded and finished speaking. Purchased immediately. 180 bottles of ice water cost 68,400 units of inferior metal pieces. 300 bottles of water cost 120,000 units. In the rest cabin of the cruiser. Qin Tian saw that the water resources he hung up were sold out within a few breaths. He immediately knew the current purchasing power. Under such circumstances, how could he miss this opportunity to make a fortune? Anyway, what they earn is the money of foreign devils. He has no psychological burden at all. So he found Rui and Ma Yongganian who had nothing to do. Shout them out to the restaurant. Immediately make plastic bottles and start letting each other catch water. In the past, he didn't dare to expose the water production ability of his water purifier too much. It is because he is afraid that the big capitalists in the Eurasian Federation will be jealous of his creation-level water purifier. Time for a big bounty. Then millions of chosen ones from the Eurasian Federation came to him all over the world to snatch the water purifier. At that time, his strength was low. Really want to be entangled. 100% will affect his development. It made him restless. But now it's different. He is invincible below the aircraft carrier. Now it has just increased a wave of strength. So what if the whole world knows that he owns a world-class water purifier? Unless those big capitalists plan to give up their plan to double the aircraft carrier attributes to kill him. Otherwise, there would never be trouble running through at this juncture. As for the other ordinary God-chosen ones, then it doesn't matter anymore. For him now, the power system has replaced 4 gas turbines. Can't beat but run. 32 plus 5 knots speed. How many warships can catch up? That's all. Qin Tian directly let go of his own water supply restrictions. The next half-afternoon plus evening time. A scene that shocked everyone in World of Warships, including the live broadcast room, appeared. From 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock in the evening. Qin Tian actually sold more than 2,000 bottles of drinking water intermittently. If calculated according to Qin Tian's 550 milliliters plastic bottle. The results obtained by many big forces almost didn't shock their jaws. There are more than 1.1 million milliliters of drinking water resources. What a concept. Some of them are better mixed, with epic or even legendary water purifiers, and they can get more than 100 liters or 240 liters of water after a day of exhaustion. As for Qin Tian, more than 1.1 million milliliters converted into liters is 1,100 liters of water. From 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock is about 6 hours. This guy actually made more than 1,100 liters of water. What kind of fairy water purifier is this? Wouldn't it be Genesis level? The jealous eyes of the major capitalist families and military forces in the Eurasian Federation are all red. If they can master this level of water purifier, then worry about water resources. Just open up conscription. The Lauder Isle of the Lauder family. Carl said to his own uncle, fourth uncle, why don't you give me a fleet so I can grab the water purifier from Qintian's hand? Hearing what my own nephew said, Oswald rolled his eyes at him angrily, and said, you boy, be honest with me, then Qintian can sink a battleship as easily as a destroyer. You want to lead the fleet of our Lot family to go with you. To die. Hear Oswald's words. Carl can only be jealous, but dare not say anything more. He also knows about the God-level treasure island. Their strategic goals will shift to this in the next year. So there is no time to take care of Qintian at all. Once the dual-attribute aircraft carrier comes out first from their hands. He didn't believe that no matter how powerful Qintian was, he could beat an aircraft carrier with double attributes. At the same time, a scene similar to this is also happening on the islands of several other capitalist tycoons. Same as the Lauder family. Several other capitalist clans were also afraid of the strength of the Qintian battleship. I don't want to cause extra problems at this juncture. As for Tianshu Island, when Zhang Zongjun's deputy told the other party about this. But Zhang Zongjun said with a smile, this kid can do it. He is careful and steady but not lacking in courage. He is a man to make. But to say the most depressing. That is undoubtedly the little devil of Sakura country. Qintian, this water is nearly twice as expensive as crude oil. Miyagi Haichin was almost heartbroken to death. I kept cursing myself in my heart which muscle was wrong at that time. How did you charge such a high price? 0.6. More than 2,000 bottles of water supplies. He paid out 418,000 units of low-quality metal and 400,000 units of low-quality plastic. Although this is only a small part of the materials he has in his hands. But don't forget who the other party is. That is their life and death enemy of the Sakura Empire. Had it not been for Qintian's sinking of the Yamato, he would have lost his golden partner Kawashima Yusuke. How could he and their Sakura Empire suffer from these things now? So the more water he buys from the other party, that is to send experience to the other party in a disguised form. Make the opponent stronger. It's just that he knows all these truths. But he couldn't do anything about it. Because of the entire trading market. Unexpectedly, there is no second god chosen who can continuously sell water like Qintian. As a result, he had to buy water from Qintian continuously. 41%. Chapter 207 Upgrade the medium-sized cruiser, order 4,000 bottles of water. And just this afternoon, Gongyoshi Hidenobu received dozens of incidents in which his subordinates were thermally stunned in the control room. According to reports from those without air conditioning, the temperature of the entire control room has been exposed to the sun to more than 60 degrees. Even drink water bottle by bottle. But still not as fast as the water evaporates. This is also the night. After the sun went down, the temperature dropped slightly by more than 10 degrees. Those soldiers under him no longer fainted. Otherwise, he himself would not know what to do. Baga, when will this damn extreme weather be over? At night, Miyayoshi Hidenobu walked out of the cool control room. Standing outside, feeling the scorching heat in the chest, even taking a breath. He cursed in despair in his heart. The water filtered out by the water purifier they owned before was probably only enough for nearly 30,000 of them to drink normally. But in this extremely hot climate, everyone's water intake has increased exponentially. Their water purifiers are simply not enough. Is it possible that in the next few days I have to buy water from that Yanlong man? Miyagi Hidenobu expressed his resistance. From 3 in the afternoon to 9 in the evening. In just 6 hours, 06 sent nearly 1 million supplies to the other party. This is if you start buying early tomorrow morning. How much does he need to spend per day? 2 million from morning till night. Then if the extremely hot weather lasts for a week, wouldn't the other party be able to upgrade the battleship into a battleship by relying on the materials he traded? Damn it. The more Gongyoshi Hidenobu thought about it, the more irritable he became. Because he found that he had no way to change at all. In a fleet of 30,000 people. In fact, there are less than 20,000 people who actually own warships. The other rafts were either destroyed for special reasons, or they were willing to give up the raft and become a hard labor on someone else's warship. But among the less than 20,000 warships, less than 200 people actually opened the air conditioner and installed it. Then we can't let the gods chosen with less than 100 people solve the problem of sheltering the more than 20,000 people in the fleet. And compared to his irritability and helplessness, Qin Tian was much more comfortable and happy. Look at the low-quality metal sheets and the low-quality plastics that have skyrocketed to more than 877,000. In Qin Tian's heart, it was a flattering feeling. Water was nothing to him at all. Give and take. Endless. But he can use drinking water to earn a lot of supplies from these little devils. At that time, I will take these supplies to raise the level of the battleship. Then turn around and hit the little devil. This cycle is very virtuous. Now that the supplies are complete, the next step is naturally to upgrade the battleship. Qin Tian plunged into Kang Curry. After extracting all the materials traded, then he began to synthesize desperately. Because there are more than 90,000 high-quality woods, more than 67,000 high-quality plastics and more than 40,000 high-quality metal sheets. So Qin Tian only needs to synthesize 30,000 high-quality wood, 90,000 high-quality plastics, and more than 110,000 high-quality metal sheets. I have been busy from almost 10 o'clock to more than 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. All supplies are complete. Qin Tian immediately began to upgrade the battleship. May I ask if the captain consumes 120,000 high-quality wood, 150,000 high-quality plastics, 70,000 high-quality nails, and 80,000 high-quality metal sheets to advance the small cruiser? Yes, Qin Tian said as a matter of routine. With the disappearance of 2/5 of the materials in the warehouse curry, the entire battleship was also shrouded in golden light. Qin Tian made a ha-ha. After raising his arms and stretching vigorously, he returned to his rest cabin. Then, plastic bottles were made and about 300 bottles of drinking water were refrigerated and frozen in the refrigerator. He just washed up and lay down on the bed to sleep. Dee. On the second day, there were 3 pulls per day. Qin Tian was awakened by the private chat prompt in his head. When I opened it, it turned out to be Zhang Zongjun. Could it be that you haven't woken up yet, kid? Qin Tian replied after reading it. Just woke up and was about to get up. Seeing this, Zhang Zongjun was speechless. This kid. Obviously, he was just woken up by himself. He shook his head and smiled. Send a message. Hurry up. Get me some water today, boy. It's too hot. The rate of water consumption by the soldiers has skyrocketed, and the water filtered by our own water purifiers is far from enough. According to the price you gave to the little devil yesterday, our Yanlong Navy ordered 4,000 bottles of water. Of course, it would be better if there was ice water. I saw the message sent by Zhang Zongjun. Qin Tian straightened his body and sat up from the wooden bed. Then I didn't even bother to take a shower. Go straight to the kitchen. 1 passed. I saw Rui and Ma Yongganian cleaning up the kitchen and dining room. Have to say, this noble son from the last era is quite down to earth. In addition to being a bit picky about eating and drinking, the rest of the place is okay. Come, old horse, Rui, hurry up and help, we will have business tomorrow. As soon as Qin Tian entered the kitchen, he started to shout loudly. This confused Ma Yongganian and Rui. Seeing this, Qin Tian directly sat down at a dining table. Just rub 2 empty bottles out. Yanlong Navy ordered 4,000 bottles of water from us, maybe we will be on a large cruise in the past 2 days. Ma Yongganian listened. His eyes lit up immediately. Without saying a word, he picked up the empty bottle and ran to fetch the water. Rui Wenyan also nodded with a smile. Carrying 2 bottles, he followed closely behind Ma Yongganian. In the studio, everyone who saw this scene immediately started talking. Alas, I have to say that Qin Tian's living conditions are almost unrecognizable. There is a large central air conditioner covering the entire ship, sufficient drinking water, and rich meals. Even if the extremely cold weather comes, there are still 2 stoves. I want to be his sailor. And it's not just the living conditions, the upgrade speed is nowhere to be seen. How long will it take to upgrade the large cruiser again? No, this is unscientific. If I remember correctly, Qin Fu's cruiser is a small cruiser, right? Why does this have to be upgraded to a large cruiser? Does this still need to be said? It must have been upgraded last night. After all, Miyayoshi Hidenobu of the Sakura Empire contributed nearly 1 million units of massive supplies yesterday. 1. Fake. The contribution is still too little. We should let the Sakura man contribute more. Our future may depend on this Yanlong man. We should upgrade him to a battleship as soon as possible. Wow, what the friendly army upstairs said is really true. In the future, I may really be able to follow the example of God Qin when dealing with the Zarer people, so it is very necessary to build a good relationship now. Hundreds of millions of people in the live broadcast room talk to each other. There is no such thing as tit for tat in the past. I can't wait to use words to kill the other party's tense atmosphere. And in World of Warships, Qin Tian was rubbing the bottle very fast. Suddenly, a private chat notification sounded in his mind. Open it and have a look. It turned out to be Nangongla this time. Boss, look at the world chat channel. You really laughed me to death. It seems that the little devil is really impatient this time. 41%. Chapter 208 Miyayoshi Hidenobu who was blown up. Qin Tian saw this message. Some doubts. Then with a thought, he opened the world chat channel. Just glanced at it. He saw that there were more than a dozen of the same information posted by Gongji Shoksan at his. Gongji Shushin at Qin Tian. Hello Qin Tian, I want to order 6,000 bottles of drinking water from you, how much can you give me? Seeing this message, Qin Tian was immediately stunned. It seems that the situation these little devils are currently facing is indeed quite miserable. Otherwise, she would never have sent him a message in such a low voice. To this, Qin Tian answered the other party in a down-to-earth manner. Qin Tian at Gongji Shushin. Sorry, your order is late, I have already taken another order. On the sea, when Gongyoshi Hidenobu saw this message, he felt a thump in his heart. His first thought was that it was impossible. This Yanlong person might want to take the opportunity to raise the price. But then, he saw Qin Tian sending a message on it and said, Our Yanlong Navy ordered 4,000 bottles of drinking water from me this morning. The price is the same as your price yesterday, so you have to wait for the order yesterday afternoon. See this message. Miyayoshi Hidenobu almost vomited blood. What are you waiting for? He can wait. But his soldiers without air conditioning can't wait. Today's temperature has risen by more than 10 degrees since we woke up this morning. Ed by subordinates. The control rooms of those battleships without air conditioning. Now the indoor temperature has reached more than 70 degrees. You know it's only past 10 o'clock in the morning. If it's noon, wouldn't that make it impossible to live at all? So there is no way. He had already stalled the fleet in place. All the soldiers hid in the cabin below deck to escape the heat. But even the cabins below decks. No air conditioning. The stuffy heat and suffocation inside also made the soldiers suffer. It is said that more than 30 people passed out from the heat in the morning. And more importantly, the water resources in their hands are running out. If you don't buy in bulk, soldiers deprived of hydration would likely die by the hundreds. Originally, Gongyoshi Hidenobu thought Qin Tian's price was too high. He contacted the Eurasian Federation, several capital families including the Lighthouse Empire. If you want to buy thousands of bottles of water at a low price, it is an emergency. But who knows that the results are all one. That is, the water stored by those big clans is not enough for their own consumption. NPCs in the faction and even low-level ordinary personnel such as gunboats and frigates have begun to limit water. Each person can only drink 1 bottle of water every half day. The underlying meaning couldn't be more obvious. Just no water, no talking. Gongyoshi Hidenobu asked about loneliness. The last trace of luck in my heart was shattered. So there is no way. He just started at Qin Tian in the world chat channel. But who knows that there is no response after calling dozens of times. This made him panic. Now it's hard to get in touch with Qin Tian. But he was told that he had accepted an order for 4,000 bottles of drinking water from Yanlong Navy. Didn't this idiot deliberately fight against him? Really have to wait until the afternoon. I'm afraid that thousands of soldiers under him will die from the heat. At this moment, he scolded Yanlong Haijin in his heart. But he still has the attitude of giving it a try at Qin Tiandao. Gongji Shushin at Qin Tian. Mr. Qin Tian, please see if you can be more flexible. First, trade me 2,000 bottles of water. My soldiers have already fainted hundreds of people from the heat. Can't live. It's just that Miyayoshi Hidenobu has just uttered these words. Over there, Zhang Zongjun jumped out. Zhang Zongjun at Gongji Shushin. Fart, why should I rush you little devils in advance? Our Yanlong Navy is also too hot to take it, and it's not just you who are hot, come first, understand? Idiot, see here, Gong Jisho gritted his teeth in confidence. I wish I could chop Zhang Zongjun alive with a knife. But no, he can't do it now. What's more, he still needs Qin Tian now. So I can only grit my teeth for a while. Keep sending messages. In this way, I will increase the price, 400 low-quality metal, 450 low-quality plastic or wood materials, how about it? Hey, if you are so stingy, then I will also increase the price. 450 for low-quality metal sheet, 500 for low-quality plastic or wood. Baga road. Seeing Zhang Zongjun's message clearly aimed at him, Gongyoshi Hidenobu really felt that it was about to burst. His gums creaked from his bite, and blood oozes faintly. Gongji Shu Shin at Qintian. I use 600 low-quality metal pieces and 800 low-quality wood or plastic materials to buy priority, how about it? As long as you make 8,000 bottles of water for me first, I will buy them at this price. Zhang Zongjun at Gongji Shu Shin. Gone, little devil, you are amazing. This time I admit it. Qin Tian, Miyayoshi Hidenobu, all chosen ones. All live viewers, what kind of weird operation is this special meow? Did this old guy do it on purpose? Help Qin Tian drive up prices. Then after becoming famous, he exited directly. Hidden merit and fame. What a cunning old thing. Of course, Miyayoshi Hidenobu also saw this. But he really can't help it now. The lives of 20,000 to 30,000 soldiers under his command are waiting for his rescue. So I knew I was cheated. You can only smash your teeth and swallow it in your stomach. What's even more worrying is that Qin Tian jumped out to make up the knife at this time. Qin Tian at Gongji Shu Shin. Isn't the price a little too high? It's okay. I know you may be impulsive. Why don't you take it back? I don't want to make money from you. Let's follow the previous one. See Qin Tian's message. Miyayoshi Hidenobu's eyes widened. He thought it was Qin Tian, the Yan Li Qinhao dragon who had found out his conscience. As a result, he waited for Qin Tian to speak the next sentence. Just break the defense directly for him. He slapped heavily on the armrest. Qin Tian at Gongji Shu Shin. Let's just pretend that this didn't happen. I'll make a deal with Yanlong Navy first. You can just wait for the deal in the afternoon. It'll take half a day. Open. Die dead. See this message from Qin Tian. Gongyoshi Hidenobu really wanted to vomit blood. What do you mean half a day is not so exaggerated? There is not enough water to drink for half a day. It is estimated that more than 1,000 soldiers under him will die, okay. Won't your conscience ache when you say this? Gongji Hidenobu really wanted to hit Qin Tian hard. But the thought of ordering your own drinking water. He still gritted his teeth and held back. He replied in a very humiliating manner. No, just follow this price, 8,000 bottles of water, please Mr. Qin Tian. Fang. 41%. Chapter 209 Sky High Order, Miyayoshi Hidenobu's little thought. Miyayoshi Hideko sent these words. My heart is bleeding. I obviously want to give this Qin Tian a better price before placing an order. But it was done by Zhang Zongjun. With a hot head, the price has been raised by about 2 times. The most speechless is that the one who suffers is obviously himself. But he had to thank the other party as if he had taken advantage of it. It's outrageous. DDDD. And at this moment, a private message notification sound suddenly sounded in his mind. He opened it to have a look. It turned out to be Raymond, a general of the lighthouse. Gongyoshi Hidenobu, the price you offered is a bit high. See the other party take the initiative to contact yourself. A burst of ecstasy suddenly surged in Miyayoshi Hidenobu's heart. Could it be that the big capitalists in the Federation were worried that they would feed Qin Tian too much? So you decide to step in and help yourself. Thinking of this, he immediately sold out. General Lei Meng, it's not what I want to give. You've seen it too. I won't do this. Zhang Zongjun of the Yanlong Navy will not let me buy water smoothly. Hundreds of my soldiers have fainted from heat, and our water is short again. There is really no way. The foreshadowing for the miserable sale is complete. Then the next step is naturally to enter the topic. Miyayoshi Hidenobu asked quickly. General Raymond, you are looking for me. Is the lighthouse going to help me with water 130? Thank you so much. I don't need too much. 8,000 bottles are enough for today. Just as Gongyoshi Hidenobu was full of anticipation, the other party quickly sent him back a message. Sorry, I am just expressing my opinion on behalf of an individual. At present, our drinking water resources are also very scarce. 2/3 of the soldiers have restricted water, so sorry, I can't help you. On the bridge, Miyayoshi Hidenobu's expression of expectation turned into deep disappointment. At this moment, he almost cursed. You're not going to help you waste your time with me here. Do you think I want to buy water at such a high price? The squeak of his fist clenched. Completely no longer have other illusions. accepted this sky-high price order from Qin Tian. No way. Who let Qin Tian have the most precious resource in this world of warships? What about water resources? Originally on the island, he can still manage to make a lot of water with those local water collection devices. After a little filtration and distillation, distribute it to make up for the gap in sewerage resources. But now the island is gone. Naturally, those water collecting devices obtained from local materials are gone. Nowadays, the filtered water from the water purifier alone is not enough to drink. It's okay if it's normal. You can limit water for 2 days, and then let it go. More than 20,000 soldiers will at least not lose their combat effectiveness due to thirst. But in this extremely hot climate, the drinking water needed by each person is rising 3 to 5 times. This is not something he can solve by himself. Therefore, we can only rely on procurement to save the lives of our subordinates. This moment, suddenly, for no reason, he thought of waiting for the extremely hot weather to pass. The idea of leading the fleet to hunt down Qin Tian all over the world. If you master the other party's creation-level water collector. Looks like you can try it. You only need to know the coordinates of the other party. Then I have more than 20,000 warships. Slowly, Gongyoshi Hidenobu fell into deep contemplation. And Qin Tian sighed. After seeing the information sent by the other party, Qin Tian's eyes narrowed slightly. This little devil. Not normal. Even this kind of humiliation can be swallowed alive. Wouldn't it be a ninja in this world? Dee. At this time, a private chat reminder sounded in my mind. Qin Tian recovered and opened it to have a look. It was the message from Zhang Zongjun. Xiao Qin, then you can get water for the little devil first, I can still hold it here for the time being. Qin Tian glanced at the hundreds of bottles of water already on the ground. After thinking for a while, he initiated a transaction application to the other party. After Zhang Zongjun agreed, he first put more than 600 bottles of water on the ground. Then he returned to his rest cabin, opened the refrigerator and put those last night, and put more than 300 bottles of ice water that were already frozen hard. Just in the early 1000. Then he sent a message to Zhang Zongjun. General, you put away the 1,000 bottles of water for emergency, and I will pick it up for the little devil right now. Zhang Zongjun naturally had no objection to this. Happily accepted it. He didn't expect that there were more than 300 bottles of ice water in it. This is a rare good thing for those soldiers who don't have air conditioners or refrigerators. Good boy, tell me, what supplies do you need? Qin Tian is not polite either. Suddenly it occurred to me that I was in urgent need of sea beast teeth. Asked immediately, General, does our Yanlong Navy have the best sea beast teeth? Zhang Zongjun saw this message. Immediately he laughed wryly. You don't need to think about the best sea beast teeth. There are more wolves and less meat. The average God's chosen will hardly have it in their hands. The powerful ones don't have enough in their hands, so no matter how high the price is, it's normal. It is also difficult to receive a few top-quality sea beast teeth. See Zhang Zongjun's words. Qin Tian thinks about it too. Of those king-level sea beasts, which one is not tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of blood? Ordinary God's chosen people have no time to hide when they see it. How could they send them to their door to seek death? And a slightly stronger God's chosen team. After hunting at all costs, because of the probability, it is also possible to save yourself to build weapons and equipment to improve yourself. Will not survive at all. This is even more true for those big forces. Kill a tooth that is only 200 or 300. If one person is not enough, how can it be divided equally? Helplessly shook his head. Qin Tian said immediately. Also, General, please help me get some metal pieces. Zhang Zongjun replied with no problem. About 10 seconds. I saw that the other party put 383,040 units of inferior metal pieces on it. Qin Tian was stunned when he saw the number. Then send a message directly. General, this is wrong, you gave too much. The price of more than 600 bottles of drinking water is not the price of ice water. According to the price of 350 low-quality metal, it should be more than 360,000 low-quality metal pieces. However, I saw that the other party sent a message very arrogantly. Okay, I'm getting old, I don't bother to calculate it so carefully, you just have to collect it as soon as possible. Our Yanlong Navy is not short of those 20,000 pieces of metal ink. Qin Tian, know that the other party is taking care of yourself. He was no longer hypocritical. Directly agreed to the transaction. Hey, that's right, okay, then go about your business, remember, kill those little devils well many. Qin Tian smiled and replied to the other party after seeing this. The chat ended. Back to the restaurant ready to continue rubbing the bottle. As soon as he came back, he saw a plate of barbecue and a bowl of fish soup on the dining table. Ma Yongganian said, Captain, this is the breakfast that Lao Yu specially left for you. I warmed it up just now, let's eat some first. Qin Tian smiled and nodded upon hearing this. So sat at the table. While eating breakfast. While rubbing the bottle without delay. 42%. Chapter 210 The transaction of 6 million supplies is enviable to others. Happy New Year's Eve guys. And the other side of the mind. Qin Tian had already gone to his battleship attribute panel. Name. Medium cruiser. Displacement. 21,105 tons. Air 205.3x2 to 4.6x 13.1. Health volume. 36,850. 35947-402-33. Defense. 1100. Strengthened fire control system. Power system. UQD 3100 gas turbine times 4. Speed. 32 plus 5 knots. Weapon system. Double AK 130 mm naval gun orange X1, 203 mm dual main gun green X4, 127 mm single secondary gun green X16, mythical Y1130 close and anti-aircraft gun X20, Genesis class dual 57 mm naval guns colorful times 1, dual 57 mm naval guns orange times 1, mythical class 50 tube 122 mm rocket launchers red times 2, mythical class Y15 anti-ship missiles, triple install 450 mm torpedo launcher X3. Fire control radar orange. Strengthen the missile device. Enhance the radar system. Enhanced torpedo system. Ordinary advancement. Low quality wood 250,000. Low quality plastic 280,000. Low quality nails 150,000. Low quality metal sheet 200,000. Can be advanced to a large cruiser common. High quality goods advanced. Ordinary wood 200,000, ordinary plastic 280,000, ordinary nails 150,000, ordinary metal sheet 180,000, can be advanced into a large cruiser excellent. Advanced advancement. 200,000 high quality wood, 250,000 high quality plastic, 100,000 high quality nails, 120,000 high quality metal sheets, can be advanced into a large cruiser extreme. Look at this gorgeous battleship attribute panel. Qin Tian's appetite for food suddenly whetted. The displacement has increased by more than 2,000 tons, the length of the hull has increased by almost 30 meters, and the blood volume has also increased by 3,000. Good guy. I am really one step ahead, just step by step. A medium-sized cruiser has a displacement of more than 20,000 and a hull length of more than 200 meters. This is already a standard heavy cruiser. If it's a big one. What about a top displacement of more than 25,000 and a hull length of more than 200 meters? That's almost as good as a battleship. Let's see how long this extreme heat can last. Enjoy this wave of little devils. Try to be able to upgrade to a battleship in these few days. Think of the rich supplies in the hands of the little devil. Qin Tian's eating speed immediately accelerated. Crackling. After eating, he directly devoted himself to the work of rubbing the bottles. Shortly after, Yu Dai also came back after taking care of the rice and vegetable greenhouses. Qin Tian immediately called him over to join the water receiving army. Fortunately, Qin Tian pulled the water pipe back then. 2 faucets are specially designed in the kitchen. There is also a faucet for hand washing in the restaurant. Now get the water. 3 people guard a faucet each. No one disturbs anyone. Also saves time. And with the addition of Yu Dai, the efficiency of receiving water has improved a lot immediately. The 8,000 bottles of water were all picked up at noon. After receiving the water, Yu Dai immediately got into the kitchen and was busy making lunch. Watching this scene, Qin Tian couldn't help feeling very emotional. How many good employees the boss dreams of. Look at the full water bottle on the ground. Qin Tian directly at Gongji Shushin in the World Chat channel. Qin Tian at Gongji Shushin. 8,000 bottles of water have been finished. Prepare metal sheets for 5,000 bottles of water, wood for 1,500 bottles of water, and plastic for 1,500 bottles of water. 1. World of Warships. Countless gods chosen who were tormented by the extremely hot weather and could only hide in the cabin showed envious and jealous expressions on their faces after seeing this message. Oh, those who bought karma, how much material can these 8,000 bottles of water be exchanged for? If the prices offered by the Sakuraman were 600 units for metal pieces and 800 units for ordinary materials, then Qintian could earn 3 million units of inferior metal pieces and 1.2 million for this order alone, units of bad wood and 1.2 million units of bad plastic. Hiss. See these three numbers. The breathing of countless gods chosen became heavy. It feels like all the blood is rushing to the top of the head. My God, there are so many supplies. If I have so many supplies, won't my destroyer be upgraded to a battleship? If you are a destroyer, it is still quite a bit worse. After all, 1.2 million wood and plastic are not a lot, but it is still possible to upgrade to a medium cruiser or even a large cruiser. 1. No, I'm too envious. What kind of water purifier does Qintian own? My epic water purifier only filters 100 liters of water every day. Upstairs there is an epic water purifier. I only have an ordinary water purifier of green quality, and the filtered water is not enough for me to drink every day. 0 seeking flowers. And Qintian finished sending the message. Over there, Gongyoshi Hidenobu was reminded by his confidant. Entered the world chat channel. When I saw that Qintian actually wanted 5,000 bottles of water and metal sheet materials. Even if he controls the internal funds of the entire fleet, he can't help but feel a little distressed. At this time, the confidant seemed to see his reluctance. Immediately said, General, why don't you let me bargain with that Qintian, let him choose less metal pieces. Gong Jixuksan immediately stopped him when he heard the words. He shook his head and said, No, we are not sure what the weather will be like in the next 2 days. If it gets hotter than this, then we will most likely have to ask him to buy water again. It would be unwise to quarrel with the other party because of this. Finished. He replied okay to Qintian. Immediately, a transaction application was sent to Qintian. The trading panel expands. With a large area of drinking water on the ground, it disappeared. Qintian first put 8,000 bottles of water on it. Said that he was too lazy to cheat the other party. After Gongyoshi Hidenobu confirmed that there was nothing wrong with the water. Immediately hung up the supplies. A whole 3 million units of low-quality metal pieces. 1.2 million units of bad wood and 1.2 million units of bad plastic. To be honest, even the current Qintian, after seeing the quantity of these strings of supplies, he couldn't help but feel his heart beat faster. With these supplies, he can upgrade a battleship into a large cruiser today. I just don't know if there is a chance to upgrade the battleship. In the entire battleship system, breaking through battleships and aircraft carriers is estimated to be the link that consumes the most supplies. The transaction is confirmed. Completed this order. Qintian looked at the string of zeros in the trading background. The corner of the mouth couldn't help but raised high. At this time, Yu Dai had already prepared the meal. A group of people are gathering around the dining table to start eating. Seeing Qintian smiling so happily, Rui glanced at him, and said lightly, What's the matter? You made a lot of money. Qintian nodded with a smile, and said to several people, We can upgrade the battleship to a large cruiser today, and maybe we can break through to a battleship in a short time. At this moment, Qintian somewhat hoped that the extremely hot weather could be delayed for a few more days. At that time, he is afraid that he will not be able to drain all the little devil's inventory. 42%. Chapter 211. The temperature is approaching 90 degrees, and 10,000 bottles of water are needed. I wish you all a happy New Year's Eve and a happy family. And heard Qintian's words. In the sea, their eyes are all lit up. For all seafarers, battleships and aircraft carriers are their lifelong pursuits and dreams. If you can serve on these 2 top warships for a period of time, that is really a life without regrets. A meal is over. Yao Ming and Wei Chen took 2 bottles of ice water back to the control room, and Ma Fei came down to eat. And Qintian summoned Rui, Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian to continue working. There are still 3,000 bottles of Yanlong Navy's 4,000 bottles of water that have not been produced yet. 3,000 bottles of water took about an hour and a half. After finishing, the 4 of them, including Qintian, all let out a long and forceful breath. Good guy. Picking up more than 12,000 bottles of water a day is really not something people do. The few of them felt dizzy and nauseous when they saw the plastic bottle. The water is ready. Qintian didn't dare to delay either. Immediately opened Zhang Zongjun's private chat and sent a message to 910. General Zhang, the remaining 3,000 bottles of water have been picked up, and I will trade them to you. Zhang Zongjun quickly replied to him. Okay, what materials are you trading this time? Qin Tian thought for a while and sent a message. Change to low-quality wood and low-quality plastic, each with 1,500 units. Zhang Zongjun replied, no problem. And then not for a while. The other party initiated a transaction application to Qin Tian. After Qin Tian chose to accept it, he directly hung up 3,000 bottles of drinking water. And Zhang Zongjun also hung up 600,000 units of low-quality wood and 600,000 units of low-quality plastic materials. As the two sides choose each other to determine. The transaction was successfully completed. Zhang Zongjun immediately sent a message. If the extremely hot weather continues these days and you have enough water resources, then sell some at a higher price to the little devil. This is an opportunity for you to rise rapidly. Qin Tian smiled when he saw this message. Then he replied, well, I understand. In fact, I am ready to upgrade the large cruiser. Ha ha ha, good boy, not bad, keep working hard, try to squeeze out a few more waves of supplies from the little devils, and upgrade your large cruiser to a battleship. Zhang Zongjun happily sent a message. Then continued to send messages. When I broke through the battleship, I used about 700,000 high-quality wood, 800,000 high-quality plastics, and 1.3 million high-quality metal sheets. Your battleship is even more powerful, probably much more than mine. Qin Tian, when he saw the breakthrough materials sent by Zhang Zongjun, suddenly he opened his mouth and sucked in a breath of cold air. Good guy, although he knew that there would be a lot of supplies needed to break through battleships and aircraft carriers. But I didn't expect it to be so scary. So many supplies are needed at once. This is the amount of materials Zhang Zongjun's battleship needs when there is no advanced option to break through. Wouldn't his breakthrough be even more terrifying? I hope his breakthrough will not be too outrageous than this. Qin Tian shook helplessly. Then he got up and greeted a few people. And then head straight into the warehouse curry. Fortunately, when the small cruiser upgrades the medium cruiser, the warehouse is also expanded several times. Otherwise, he doesn't even know if his supplies can be piled up. But even so, when he extracted all the supplies of those millions of units, people were immediately pushed to the door. Looking at the pile of materials in the warehouse curry, Qin Tian couldn't help his scalp tingling. But in order to upgrade the medium-sized cruiser to a large scale as soon as possible, he can only open the synthesis panel and start synthesis at a very fast speed. That's all. From 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 o'clock in the evening, Qin Tian only combined less than half of the supplies. There is no way. He had to get ready for bed first. Recombine the rest the next day. And in order to reduce the burden of receiving water the next day, he rubbed out 300 bottles of water directly in his room and froze them into the refrigerator. Then he picked up another 700 bottles of drinking water and randomly placed them on the ground. After finishing all this, he just lay on the wooden bed and quickly fell asleep. Just when most of the other gods chosen were tossing and turning in this hot weather like a steam oven, they were so uncomfortable that they couldn't sleep. Qin Tian and several crew members on his ship were sleeping comfortably in the air-conditioned room. Wei Chen, who was on duty, sat in front of the center console in the control room. On the left is a bottle of melted and half-filled ice water. On the right is a plate of grilled mosasaur meat that has cooled down. Drink 2 sips of ice water to refresh yourself when you are thirsty and sleepy. Eat a small piece of grilled mosasaur meat when you are hungry. If this scene is seen by other chosen ones, I'm afraid I won't be mad with jealousy. Think of them as the chosen ones. It's actually more enjoyable than just mixing with an NPC in World of Warships. How does this embarrass them? The third day of extremely hot weather. The temperature is getting hotter. Qin Tian's friend requests are already numerous. Hundreds of thousands of gods chosen hope to join him, and they can buy 10 or 20 bottles of ice water from him to renew their lives. No matter how high the price is. Compared with my own life. What do supplies count for? Because on this third day, the temperature outside was approaching 90 degrees. This made everyone in the cabin almost collapse. World, the chat channel is full of mourning. A large number of gods chosen have died of heat stroke symptoms due to lack of water resources and cooling methods. It's just that Qin Tian has no time to take care of these things. From breakfast to dinner, he plunged into the warehouse and Curry began to synthesize materials. It didn't take more than 10 minutes in total. The reminder of private chat sounded again in his mind. Qin Tian opened it and took a look. I saw Zhang Zongjun sending him a message. Xiao Qin, are you free today? Qin Tian replied very briskly. Come on, General Zhang, are you going to have it today? Zhang Zongjun directly sent a number that shocked even Qin Tian. Xiao Qin, I have to work hard for you today. Today, our Yanlong Navy needs at least 8,000 bottles of water. It would be best if we could have 10,000 bottles. Qin Tian asked in surprise when he saw this. Why do you need so much water? Seeing this, Zhang Zongjun immediately gave a wry smile. At this moment, he suddenly understood why Qin Tian insisted on not accepting the real power of Rear Admiral Yanlong. Look at how cool the life of this family is when one person is full and the whole family is not hungry. Look at him again. The power of life and death that seems to be in charge of tens of thousands of people on Tianshu Island seems very majestic. Very energetic. But corresponding to it is the heavy responsibility. Every day, tens of thousands of people eat, drink, sleep, and sleep at 0.9, waiting for him to manage and solve them. If it weren't for the body being strengthened by king-level meat. Otherwise, he would have to wonder if he would die suddenly in this position. But facing Qin Tian's question, Zhang Zongjun sent a message directly. I saw that you kid didn't take a step out of the cabin today, and went up to the deck. Qin Tian took it for granted. It's such a hot weather outside, of course I won't go out, and there is no urgent matter for me to solve. This time, he directly envied Zhang Zongjun, the powerful Yanlong admiral. But he soon sighed. Sent Qin Tian a message. Today's temperature is too hot. The outdoor temperature is close to 90 degrees. Many people can't stand it in the cabin, including our Yanlong Navy, who died of heat stroke, and 100 people have died. There are many people. Qin Tian's eyes couldn't help but become serious when he saw this. 42%. Chapter 212. Add 100 units of supplies to each bottle of water. It stands to reason that under Zhang Zongjun's management style, the discipline and distribution of the Yanlong Navy are very reasonable and fair. But just like that, more than 100 people died. Moreover, most likely Zhang Zongjun was talking about the Tianshu Island fleet led by himself. The fleets of the other 4 islands don't know what's going on. However, the number of those 4 fleets is not too many. It is estimated that even if there are deaths, it is not as large as the Tianshu Island fleet. It can also be seen from this that the extremely hot weather this time is indeed a bit scary. You know, this is the 3rd day. And it's only 8:30 in the morning. The heat from the sun is far from starting to really kick in. But it's almost 90 degrees. If this is at noon when the sun is in full swing, doesn't the outside temperature have to be 120 degrees? Until then, if you stay on the deck without any shelter for more than 10 seconds, you will probably get sunburned. If you stay for a minute, you may be directly sunburned to death. At this time Qin Tian suddenly thought of another thing. Even Yanlong Navy 06 has become like this. Wouldn't it be worse there for the little devil? He was thinking about it. I saw Zhang Zongjun sending him a message. Just now I saw that guy Gongyoshi Hidenobu at you on the World Chat channel again, and he may need a lot of water. Seeing this, Qin Tian thought for a while and replied. It's okay, I still have 2 laborers in the control room. At worst, let them participate, and I'm sure we can drive out the little devil's water, but it's definitely not as early as yesterday. 1. Seeing Zhang Zongjun, he nodded his hair and said. This is very good. There is no need for the little devil to lower the price, and even if you force it a little, you may be able to increase it. It depends on how you operate. Qin Tian made a sound. After sending a few more messages to Zhang Zongjun. Synthesize materials at the same time, while focusing on the World Chat channel. Swipe up. Sure enough, I saw Gongyoshi Hidenobu at him again. And there are still some people from the Eurasian League below who are actually spraying him. Fake. Gongyoshi Hidenobu, if you send huge amounts of supplies to that Yanlong man every day, sooner or later he will be sent to the rank of Battleship by you. That's right, Sakura people, you can buy it from other countries in our Eurasian Federation. I think many countries are willing to sell water to you at this price. HMPH. Sakura people, you are scared of being beaten by Qin Tian, and you deliberately use this method to show favor. Do you think that what your Sakura Empire has done to Yanlong Empire, the other party may easily bypass you? Idiot. Bunch of mindless idiots. Gongyoshi Hidenobu originally didn't want to talk to these powerful kings. But seeing these people say more and more outrageous, he could only stand up immediately. While cursing in his heart, he sent a message. Every one of you speaks better than you sing. Do you think I haven't looked for the other allies of our Eurasian Federation? I haven't looked for the lighthouse, the never-setting sun, the rooster, the rose, or even the 3 countries of A, but you ask, will you trade water with me? After speaking, he also felt uneasy. Directly at the first few people. Gongji Shu Shin at Beike at Yili at KD Shi. Since the 3 of you are so good at opening your mouths, I'll buy water from you. I need 10,000 bottles of water. As long as you can get them together for me today, then I will directly give each of you 5 million units of supplies. To be honest, see 5 million units of supplies. The 3 of them were really moved. 5 million units of supplies. That's an amount they can't even imagine right now. If there are these 5 million units of materials, their strength can undergo earth-shaking changes immediately. Not to mention dominating the world of warships. But as long as there is no wave, it should be no problem to live safely for several years. Maybe when the time comes, I will open a top-quality creation-level treasure chest or a myth-level treasure chest. Then they may directly become the winners in life. But then they woke up from the dream again. My heart is full of depression and I have no desire to speak. Everything can only be thought about. With their strength and social circle. Not to mention 10,000 bottles of water. If they could get together 2 bottles of water, they probably had to keep them for themselves. And at this moment, Qin Tian was talking about at Gongji Shu Shin in the chat channel. Qin Tian at Gongji Shu Shin, what are you doing? Let me state in advance that I don't have much time to get you water today. Originally, Gongyoshi Hidenobu was very excited when he saw Qin Tian replied to his message. But after seeing this sentence, the excitement immediately turned into fright. Gongji Shu Shin at Qin Tian, no, why? We really need this batch of water today. Thousands of people in my fleet have been cut off from water since the morning, so the next Germans will die. I promised General Zhang this morning that I will go all out to provide 10,000 bottles of drinking water to our Yanlong Navy, so I don't have time to take other orders. Qin Tian directly answered Miyazaki Hidenobu's doubts. At the same time, the corner of his mouth lifted up coldly. I thought coldly in my heart, the life and death of you little devils has something to do with me. If it weren't for the materials in your hands, you can see if I don't care about you, it's over. And Gongyoshi Hidenobu obviously knew this too. If he hadn't been charging high prices to renew his life. I'm afraid that this flame dragon demon who has killed thousands of people without even blinking an eye will not even give him a bird's eye. So he's going to do it again. At the same time, he also scolded Zhang Zongjun bloodily in his heart. Why is it that this old guy hurts himself every time? 10,000 bottles of water, thanks to this guy who can say it. Etc. 10,000 bottles of water. At this time, Miyayoshi Hidenobu was also shocked. His face was slightly moved. Don't say it's him. Even the high-level executives of those big capitalists were stunned. What is the concept of 10,000 bottles of 550 milliliters water? Converted to liters, that's 5,500 liters. This water purifier is also awesome. Miyayoshi Hidenobu thought secretly, if only he could get 5,500 liters of water every day. Immediately dare to gather all the chosen ones of the Sakura Empire in World of Warships. At that time, it will be able to form a big first-class force. At this moment, he became more determined in his heart to find Qin Tian and snatch the water purifier from the other party. It's just that he was thinking of a ghost idea. On the surface, he maintained a humble and polite appearance. Send a message to Qin Tian. Gongji Shu Shin at Qin Tian. Then Mr. Qin Tian, can you see if this works? I will add 50 units of supplies to each bottle of water. I don't want it in advance. You can trade the water to me at 6 o'clock in the evening. I don't want it. Ask for more, just ask for more than 5,000 units. Qin Tian saw this sentence. Continue to pretend to be embarrassed. Hey, my crew and I only received more than 12,000 bottles of water in one day yesterday. The 15,000 units you asked for is a bit too much. Gongji Shoksan at Qin Tian. Add 100 units each, Mr. Qin Tian, please, as long as you can help us get through this disaster, I will definitely be grateful to you in the future. 42%. Chapter 213 I got you 11,500 bottles of water in total. Happy New Year's Eve to the big guys. Family reunion. Snort. I think it's almost like killing everything. I saw Gongji Shoksan saying that I am grateful to him. Qin Tian disdainfully despised the other party and hummed. Then he didn't bother to argue with the other party. Send a message directly. All right, I'll try my best. After speaking, they will no longer talk to each other. The chat channel was directly closed. Adding 100 units per bottle of water is not bad. The price of a bottle of metal sheet is 700 units. The price of a bottle of common materials is 900 units. If it sells for 6 or 7,000 bottles, we can also get 5 or 6 million units of supplies. As the saying goes, if you have money but don't make money, you are a bastard. And when the time comes, if I upgrade the battleship to a battleship, you have to fight for a few rounds of naval guns to sink the opponent. This is a good way to thank the other party for taking care of their business so much. And Gongji Shoksan didn't know at this time that Qin Tian was thinking about how to send him to the sky with a cannonball. After seeing Qin Tian's answer, he curled his lips in contempt. His heart was full of disdain and he let out a bah. What the hell are you pretending to be noble to me? It turns out that he is also a villain who is mercenary and forgets righteousness. Then it's easy to handle. Miyagi Hidenobu consciously caught a fatal weakness of Qin Tian. And Qin Tian didn't have time to synthesize materials after receiving these two big orders. Immediately, he rushed to the deck with big strides. One out. A blazing high temperature hit his body in an instant. Rao is that his body has been strengthened with king-level flesh quality. It was also a slight tingling to the skin baked by the high temperature. Without any hesitation, he rushed straight to the control room. Then he spoke to the three people in the control room. I received 2 big orders for drinking water. Today, I have to send 2 people from you to go down to fetch the water with me. Which of the 3 of you will go and who will stay? Finally, after some deliberation, Wei Chen decided to let him control the battleship in the control room in the morning. When Yao Lang or Ma Fei didn't want to stay in the afternoon, he went down to replace him. Qin Tian wasted no time. He took the 2 of them down the cabin quickly. Then he quickly summoned Rui to follow Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian. Brothers, let's work. We have 2 big orders today. We must get 16,000 bottles of water before the sun goes down at night. Although the task is difficult, the rewards are not bad. So just work hard. Qin Tian mobilized everyone. Haha, what you said, Captain, we have enjoyed an unprecedented comfortable environment and delicious food on your ship, isn't it what we should do to do some work? Yu Hai said to Qin Tian. Qin Tian smiled when he heard the words, and then said, that's fine, I won't say much else. Finished. He sits directly on a chair in the restaurant and starts making plastic bottles. Rui, Ma Yongganian and Yu Dai immediately occupied a faucet to catch the water just like yesterday. Ma Fei and Yao Lang were left with dazed faces. The faucets were all occupied. Where do they go to get water? Qin Tian used wood to make 2 large wooden baskets. Then he hooked his hands towards the 2 of them. Seeing this, the 2 immediately listened to each other. Following, Qin Tian whispered a few words in their ears. Surprise appeared on the faces of the 2 of them. Immediately afterwards, they all grinned gloatingly, nodded to Qin Tian and said, okay, Captain, we understand. Finished. The 2 picked up dozens of empty plastic bottles in wooden baskets and walked out of the restaurant cheerfully. Monk Zhong a group of people in the live broadcast room, couldn't figure it out. But they didn't think too much about it. Time keeps passing. A few people had a quick and simple lunch except at noon. The rest of the time I do nothing but go to the toilet. It's just a constant flow of water. It was finally around 2:40 in the afternoon. Yu Dai and the others in the restaurant insisted on bringing all the 10,000 bottles of drinking water that Zhang Zongjun needed. Qin Tian asked several people to continue collecting water. Then he found Zhang Zongjun's head portrait. Opened the private chat interface to send a message. General Zhang, it's done, I'll trade the water to you now. There is almost a second reply to the message. Okay, your batch of water came at the right time. The temperature outside has already exceeded 120 degrees, which has endangered the lives of many soldiers. See this message. Qin Tian didn't delay any longer. Initiate a transaction application directly to the other party. After the trading interface is opened, he first put the more than 10,000 bottles of drinking water on the ground that could hardly be stacked on the interface. Then he hurried back to his room. Put the 700 bottles of water and 300 bottles of frozen water that I made last night on it. A total of more than 11,000 bottles of water. Zhang Zongjun was naturally very happy to see this scene. Said immediately, tell me, what supplies do you need now? Qin Tian thought for a while and said directly, metal sheets for 5,000 bottles of water, plastic for 3,000 bottles of water, and wood for 3,000 bottles of water. Zhang Zongjun replied, no problem. After about 10 seconds, 2 million units of inferior metal pieces appeared in the opponent's interface. 1.5 million units of low-quality plastic and 1.5 million units of low-quality wood. After knowing that this was Zhang Zongjun, he also took the initiative to raise the price to take care of him. Qin Tian didn't say anything more this time. He just said thank you, General Zhang. Then I silently remembered this friendship in my heart. What are you thankful for? You boy have been able to obtain more abundant supplies from the little devil these few times, but you still won't be short of water resources for the Yanlong Navy. This kindness will always be firmly in the mind of Longhai Congress. Qin Tian smiled. Qian Li's. The next 3 or 4 hours. Qin Tian led his men to fetch water for the little devil with all his strength. Wait until 6 o'clock. Rui, Yu Haihai and Ma Yongganian have received more than 4,800 bottles of water. Yao Lang and Ma Fei reported that they had received more than 6,500 bottles of water. Qin Tian was overjoyed. Immediately followed the two into the aisle. After seeing the piles of water bottles filled to the brim. Without further ado, he opened the world chat interface. Find the profile picture of Miyayoshi Hidenobu. He received the water. Miyayoshi Hidenobu wasted almost 3 seconds. After returning, okay. Just ask him what supplies he needs. Qin Tian at Yufang Dao Song. I mobilized all the crew on my battleship today, and I got you 11,500 bottles of water in total. I want metal sheets for 5,000 bottles of water, wood for 3,000 bottles of water, and 3,500 bottles of water. Water plastic. 42%. Chapter 214. The extreme heat is over and comes the extreme night. Elite Deep Sea Chapter. See this message from Qin Tian. Miyayoshi Hidenobu stood up excitedly from his seat. He is not afraid of water. He was afraid that there would not be enough water. Today's temperature. He has taken the lives of more than 700 soldiers under him intermittently. He really didn't dare to delay any longer. So I happily replied with, okay. He directly faced Qin Tian's profile picture and chose the transaction application. As if afraid that Qin Tian would go back on his word. And Qin Tian didn't have the heart to tease this little devil. Materials are now the most important thing. Upgrade to a large battleship as quickly as possible. Then accumulate enough supplies. He will be able to go to the God-level treasure island to grab the ownership of the double attribute of the aircraft carrier. So he directly traded all the more than 6,000 bottles of water in the aisle with the more than 4,000 bottles of water in the restaurant. After seeing Qin Tian really made 11,500 bottles of water. Miyayoshi Hidenobu smiled with satisfaction. Save it now. Maybe it can save half of the water for tomorrow. So although it is a bit painful, but Gongyoshi Hidenobu hung up the materials directly. 3.5 million units of low-quality sheet metal. 2.7 million units of low-quality wood and 3.15 million units of low-quality plastic. With 990 confirmations, both parties opted for post-trade. In Qin Tian's trading market background, in an instant, there was a huge amount of supplies with a series of zeros at the end. Qin Tian didn't care about those messages in the world chat channel asking for trading ice water, and those who said he was inhuman, only knew how to earn materials, and didn't know how to help others, so he directly closed the entire chat interface. He just glanced wide. There are quite a few people above saying that he has made tens of millions of supplies in the past 2 days by selling water, which is cool. But he doesn't care about the lives of his compatriots. If these levels are divided among the heads of every Yanlong compatriot, how many innocent lives could be saved? Qin Tian just yelled, in disdain. The ugliness of human nature is always like this. In the horror of facing death, even if you are their savior, there are some people who will betray you without hesitation for their own survival. Think back to the time when I and the Yanlong Navy fought against those foreign devils on Tianshu Island. I didn't see these guys voluntarily running over to help him resist and fight side by side with him. Now we are experiencing extremely hot weather and lack of water. When he saw him pick up drinking water, he came readily. He started moral kidnapping and wanted him to provide free drinking water. I really don't know, Age, what's going on in my mind. Night. I ate a feast of moss dragon meat made by Yu Hai. Qin Tian plunged headlong into the warehouse and Curry continued his battle of synthetic materials. Has been busy until 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. Only then did Qin Tian drag his physically and mentally exhausted body back to his rest cabin. I don't even bother to pick up water in advance. After washing, he fell on the bed. He fell asleep in a few seconds. I don't know how long I slept. just when Qin Tian was soundly asleep. He felt a sudden shock all over his body. However, it was followed by the sound of boom, 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 and the sound of rocket launchers and missile launches. Qin Tian opened his eyes in an instant, sitting up suddenly from the bed. What's the situation? Could it be that they were ambushed by those guys from the Eurasian Federation? Qin Tian woke up almost instantly. Then he put on his clothes and ran outside quickly. When he came to the deck, it was pitch black outside, if it weren't for the lights on the battleship. He almost wondered if he could see his 10 fingers when he stretched out his hand. At this time, Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian were already on the deck. Qin Tian immediately walked over and shouted, "Old Yu, Lao Ma, what's going on? Could it be that someone ambushed us?" "Captain, see Qin Tian." The two hurriedly greeted each other. Then he said, "No, it was the sea beast that attacked us." Sea beast? Qin Tian frowned. And until then, he just found out after he came out. The temperature outside was no longer as scorching as it was yesterday. Instead, there was a faint return to normal warmth, combined with the darkness around the battleship. He immediately raised his voice and asked the two of them, "Old Yu, Lao Ma, who of you knows what time it is?" "It's past 7 o'clock, Captain." Ma Yongganian also shouted to answer Qin Tian's question amidst the sound of gunfire. Really, this is followed by 3 days of extreme heat followed by polar night weather. Have to say, this cosmic will is really ruthless. It is because of the will of the planet that the source of material distribution in the sea area was slightly modified by the call of countless gods chosen. The will of the universe began to frantically toss them, the chosen ones of World of Warships. Get polar night after extreme heat. You know, in the extreme night climate, it is easy to encounter those terrifying sea beasts that come up from the depths of the sea. And this is not a novice sea. In this real warship world, sometimes a big guy comes out of the bottom of the sea. It may be the grandpa's fierce beast of the final boss of the novice sea territory, Ocean Emperor Glasgow. That millions of blood volume is enough to make 99% of God's chosen feel hopeless. After thinking about this, Qin Tian didn't dare to delay any longer. Immediately said hello and told the two to be careful. He lifted his legs and walked towards the control room. While walking, I was still secretly rejoicing in my heart. Fortunately, Yao Lang and Ma Fei were called down to fight yesterday. Otherwise, wouldn't the millions of supplies have to be cut in half? Miss yesterday. God knows when I will have such a cool opportunity. Once in the control room, Rui was standing in front of the center console with Yao Lang and Ma Fei. He watched the situation outside the window calmly. After hearing the movement, the four of them turned around at the same time. After seeing that it was Qin Tian, they all started to say hello. "Hello, Captain. Good morning, Captain. Captain, come and see this giant octopus. It suddenly appeared not far in front of us and directly attacked us." Yao Lang said helplessly. Rui curled his lips in disdain, and said, "It's just a small sea monster. If my mecha was still there, I could split it in half in a few minutes." Qin Tian smiled when he heard the words, "Don't even think about mechs for the time being. At this stage, it would be good if you can drive a helicopter or a fighter jet." Hear Qin Tian's words. Rui suddenly became depressed. Fighter is better. At least it can be opened and operated casually. But what the hell is a helicopter? Can it be passionate? And Qin Tian also came to the side of several people at this time. Looking out through the front window, it can be seen in the light range of the searchlight. A huge squid with a height of 60 to 70 meters. It is wanting to keep rushing to attack the battleship with all its teeth and claws. But the cruiser Qin Tian had too much firepower. And it's fast too. Under Wei Chen's control, the warships have been slipping past each other like flying a kite. Qin Tian thought. He used the divine detective technique towards the octopus. Name: Elite Deep Sea Chapter. Health Volume: 63,292 90,000ths. 43%. Chapter 215 Upgrade the Large Cruiser, Explore a Big Surprise. I go. 90,000 blood. Looking at the opponent, he is not even a king-level monster. They all have 90,000 blood. Qin Tian didn't know for a while that his strength continued to improve. The will of the universe upgraded the strength of the monsters he encountered. Or his luck is so good, just encountering a deep-sea elite sea monster is so powerful. This is almost comparable to the elite king-level monster, Elite Mosasaur King, he encountered some time ago. But no matter how thick the opponent's blood is and how high the attack is, in the face of Qin Tian, a battleship far surpassing the cruiser of the same level, For a while, the wails of being beaten continued. Not even the slightest chance to fight back. In the darkness, the barrels of dozens of naval guns continuously flashed fire that represented death and destruction. Mythical 50 tubes of 122 rockets cover the past like a patch of fireflies. Booming and booming, countless dazzling flames bloomed on the elite deep sea chapter. You can vaguely see the dense fixed damage value -80 constantly floating from the opponent's head. Just such a wave of rocket attacks knocked out 8,000 of the opponent's blood. Then followed by 4 Myth-class Y-15 anti-ship missiles. Each hit a 3,150 attack. With the completion of the saturated attack of naval guns, anti-ship missiles, and rocket launchers. Qin Tian looked at the elite deep sea chapter again. The blood in the other party's veins is less than 5,000. After suffering a few more rounds of shelling, the blood vessels of the giant octopus were finally cleared. I saw it violently swinging its 8 tentacles that were 80 or 90 meters long. Those tentacles then fell powerlessly to the surface of the sea. There were countless splashes of water. And the body of elite deep sea chapter also began to sink slowly at this moment. Achin, drive the battleship over there. Qin Tian said something. Then he opened the door of the control room and walked out. Come to the bow position. It happened that the battleship drew a half arc and passed the elite deep sea chapter, which had sunk halfway. The body of the elite deep sea chapter was found. Do you want to collect it? Yes. Facing the question of the will of the planet, Qin Tian chose to collect without hesitation. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 3,000 units of elite octopus meat. Congratulations to the captain for obtaining 300 elite sea beast teeth. It's a pity, it's not a top quality sea beast tooth. I hope to meet a top quality sea beast in these 2 days. After shaking his head and muttering, Qin Tian immediately called out to Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian. Have 2 people transport the meat back to the kitchen. Didi. And at this moment, the private chat prompt sounded in his mind. He opened it to have a look. Sure enough, it was Zhang Zongjun who sent him another message. The general meaning is that this wave of polar night weather seems to have triggered many extremely aggressive deep-sea behemoths to the surface of the sea. Leave him alone to pay attention. And the fleet of the Sakura Empire far away in another sea area. Miyayoshi Hidenobu sat in his bridge seat. Looking at a large pile of drinking water neatly placed aside, he fell into deep thought with a gloomy face. In the control room, a group of his subordinates were also trembling, not daring to show their spirits. Fearing that he was unlucky, he would be misunderstood by Gongyoshi Hidenobu, and then kicked out of the entire fleet with an angry curse. Who would have thought that the climate that was still hot last night would change from an extremely hot climate to an extreme night climate so quickly? The temperature, which was originally as high as more than 70 degrees, also plummeted. It has returned to the current level of only more than 30 degrees. But this way, yesterday, Miyayoshi Hidenobu, who spent several million units of supplies to buy more than 11,000 bottles of water, was very sad. Because he saved more than 5,000 bottles of water yesterday. I thought it would be used as an emergency today. But look at the current temperature. It seems that these 5,000 bottles of water will not be able to play an emergency role. And even if it is sold on the trading market, the price-performance ratio of these more than 5,000 bottles of water will obviously be greatly reduced. It's just that this has nothing to do with Qin Tian. Water is such a material. Buy and leave, even if today's weather is rainy weather. The little devil couldn't say anything either. I had to pinch my nose to admit it. After Qin Tian ordered Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian to carry the elite octopus meat. He himself put away the 300 elite sea beast teeth on the ground and went straight down to the curry in the cabin. He wants to quickly synthesize the materials for upgrading the battleship. Then upgrade the medium cruiser to a large cruiser. It was synthesized from morning to past 5 in the afternoon. During this period, Qin Tian could feel the vibration of the battleship and the roar of naval guns and rocket launchers from time to time. This shows how active and aggressive the deep-sea sea beasts in the extreme night are this time. It is estimated that the warships of the chosen ones only need to be within 100 or 10 meters of them. 0. Seeking flowers 00 will be perceived by them and carry out crazy attacks. And in order to prevent the battleship from being armed, it ran out of ammunition. Therefore, Qin Tian had to go to various ammunition bays to resupply ammunition from time to time depending on the intensity of the battle. So under this delay, he went on until after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Only then did all the materials for upgrading the large cruiser be synthesized. At this time, the materials that originally filled the warehouse had shrunk by more than half. Qin Tian immediately opened the attribute panel of the battleship. Without further ado, I chose Advanced of Advanced. May I ask if the captain consumes 200,000 high-quality wood, 250,000 high-quality plastics, 100,000 high-quality nails, and 120,000 high-quality metal sheets to advance the medium-sized cruiser? Yes. Following Qin Tian nodded. Most of Curry's supplies disappeared. The bright golden light instantly enveloped the entire cruiser. Even the warehouse, which suddenly became empty, was plunged into a golden ocean. After finishing the upgrade of the battleship, only then did Qin Tian come out of the warehouse Curry with a sigh of relief. Then on a whim, he suddenly opened the plane map of Divine Detective Technique. I saw that Fang Yuan was within 30 nautical miles except for the wooden barrels of supplies one by one. It's just the dozen or so sea beast icons that don't have any special features. These are for him now. It's completely unattractive. That's all. Qin Tian has been observing the plane map in his mind and came to the deck. Just as he was holding back for a day because of Curry in the warehouse. When you want to take a walk around the deck of the battleship. He paused as soon as he lifted his feet. Then he looked at a place on the flat map in his mind, and his eyes froze for a moment. I saw him in the direction of 2 o'clock. Several human-shaped icons actually appeared at a distance of about 30 nautical miles. Take a cursory glance. There must be about 10 people. And not far from these human icons, there is also a large red sea beast icon that is 2 circles larger than ordinary sea beasts. Of course Qin Tian could guess what these 2 icons represented. So after recovering, he didn't hesitate. Take a step. Just walk quickly towards the control room and walk towards 0.43%. Chapter 216. See you again, S-Class Sailor, Special Operations Captain Li Yao. Achin, drive towards 2 o'clock, slow down after about 28 nautical miles and start a search and rescue. Once in the control room, Qin Tian gave orders to Wei Chen. Understood, Captain. Hear Qin Tian's instruction. Wei Chen turned the steering wheel almost without any hesitation. The battleship began to turn. Search and rescue order. Is this another new sailor? Such thoughts flashed through Wei Chen's mind. But he didn't ask much. And compared to Wei Chen's introvertedness, Yao Lang was much bolder. In front of the center console, he turned his head curiously and asked, Captain, are we going to search and rescue? Qin Tian nodded, and said, when we get to the place, use the searchlight to illuminate it. We may be able to rescue a little too many people this time. When Yao Lang and the others heard this, their hearts were filled with joy. There are more people. There are only a few of them on such a large battleship. Not 180, to say the daily workload. The atmosphere alone is very deserted. Like the warships they've been on before. Even if it's just a frigate, there are more people on board than this. The atmosphere is very lively. But now this cruiser with a length of more than 200 meters has only 6 of their crew members. This is indeed a bit too deserted. Qin Tian has been paying attention to the situation of those people on the flat map in his mind. Maybe those people moved a little bit. Qin Tian's body trembled suddenly. Because when those overlapping figures make a little gap, Qin Tian actually saw a red figure. It's just because those figures quickly overlapped again. Qin Tian didn't see the handwriting on the red figure's head. But this alone was enough to arouse Qin Tian's excitement. With the lessons learned from Rui. Of course he knew what that meant. It means that among these NPCs, there is actually a hero with the lowest talent level of S level. Achin, hurry up, Qin Tian urged. He didn't expect that among those people there was a hero-level crew member with top talent. Now, the value of those people in his heart suddenly rose crazily in a straight line. The battleship rampaged at full speed all the way. After about half an hour, Wei Chen started to downshift to slow down. The 2 searchlights installed on the shipbuilding also began to scan back and forth. Look for nearby displaced persons. Rui, Yu Hai and Ma Yongganian listened attentively on the deck of the battleship. See if you can hear the distressed sailors' cries for help. After all, the cruiser is now in an upgrade state. The entire battleship is shining with golden light. It stands to reason that even if it is far away, it can be seen clearly. And as the battleship continued to move forward slowly. Not to mention, soon Rui heard some calls for help amidst the crashing waves all around. He immediately focused his ears. Listen carefully. After hearing the sound coming intermittently from the right position, he was in the control room immediately. He said to Qin Tian, Captain, I heard voices calling for help from the right side, and I preliminarily guessed that it was those people in distress. Hear Rui's words. Without further ado, Qin Tian asked Yao Ming to control the 2 searchlights to search to the right. Not to mention, after scanning so carefully, a few people really found the target. I saw a dozen people waving their arms wildly towards them in the distance. Under the searchlight, Qin Tian even saw a woman. Chen, lean over and let us rescue them all. Qin Tian spoke to Wei Chen. Okay, Captain. Hearing this, Wei Chen controlled the battleship and sailed towards the opponent cautiously. Rui, let's go. And Qin Tian greeted Rui. The 2 came to the deck one after the other. Yu Dai and Ma Yongnian also heard the voice at this time. Gathered together at Qin Tian's side. BTE. Please save us. As the battleship continued to approach. The words spoken by those people on the other side were also clearly heard by several people. Yao Lang controlled 2 searchlights to shine on both sides of those people, so as not to damage their vision due to strong light. Yu Dai and Ma Yongnian picked up the 3 ropes on the deck and threw them over to those people with incomparable precision. Tie on and let us pull you over. Yu Hai was shouting loudly at those people. Okay, thank you very much. It was beyond Qin Tian's expectation. It seems that the only woman is the only woman who is in charge of the other party's crowd. After thanking, I saw the other party vigorously commanding several people around him to join hands to tie ropes for others. There was no confusion in the whole process. In about 10 seconds, the 3 people were tied up. Yu Dai and Ma Yongnian began to pull the rope back to pull people back. Seeing this, Rui sighed helplessly. He also stepped forward and grabbed the last rope and began to pull it up. Soon, the 3 people whose skin was soaked in seawater and wrinkled were pulled up. Then the 3 threw the rope down again. And so on and on. About 3 minutes, the 12 people who were soaked in the sea were all rescued in this way. It was the same as when they were rescued from the sea. After these people were rescued, most of them lay down on the deck with their bodies wet. The joy of the rest of the life after the catastrophe was written on the tired face. Only 2 burly men stood behind the woman, although the 3 of them were full of exhaustion. But he still stood upright in front of Qin Tian. Seeing this, Qin Tian couldn't help raising his brows slightly and looked at this woman. This moment, he suddenly thought of the top talent hidden in this team. Look at this. Could it be this girl? Think like this. Qin Tian focused his attention on the red figure in his mind again. I saw that the other party was in the same position as the woman in front of me. At the forefront of 2 people. The name on the top of the head is Li Yao. See this feminine name. Qin Tian was basically certain in his heart. That hero is this woman. And at this time, the woman also took the initiative to introduce herself. Hello, dear Captain, I am Li Yao, the special commander of the Kanglan Expedition Squad. Thank you very much for your rescue this time. It is as expected. After hearing the name of the woman introducing herself, Qin Tian secretly said in his heart, sure enough. Then he said very politely, Captain Li 1.2, you are being polite. It is only right to help out in such a situation. I don't know what happened to your warship, Captain Li, and why did you encounter such a disaster? The strands of beautiful hair on Li Yao's head stuck to her skin and covered half of her side face. Although the whole body is full of the heroic spirit of a woman who does not give way to a man. But at this moment, he said in a very embarrassed manner, our battleship was suddenly attacked by an extremely powerful sea monster while passing through the sea ahead. Although our entire crew fought back desperately, the defensive power of the black turtle is really too strong. We tried our best and failed to kill 1/3 of the other party's blood. On the contrary, our own battleship was worn out by the sea beast. Those of us still relied on an inflatable boat on the battleship to escape from the attack range of the black turtle, but the inflatable boat was also attacked and sank into the sea without air after arriving here. That's why the scene you saw, Your Excellency, Captain. Quote. 43%. Chapter 217 S-Class Battle Hero, shocked Li Yao. Hearing Li Yao's description, Qin Tian's eyes lit up immediately. Can overturn battleships. This strength is undoubtedly a king-level sea beast. And it is also a king-level sea beast in the deep sea. If you clean up the opponent, you must be able to get 500 or 600 of the best sea teeth, right? After all, the elite Mosasaur King with 120,000 blood back then produced 350 top-quality sea beast teeth. Think here. Qin Tian immediately asked Li Yao. Then what is Captain Li's plan for the future? Hear Qin Tian's words. Li Yao was slightly taken aback. However, after hesitating for a moment, she said decisively, "Now our warship has been sunk by that black turtle, and we have no place to live and die. If Your Excellency the Captain does not dislike us, we are willing to serve you forever." "Your Excellency, Captain. I would like to pledge my allegiance to Your Excellency the Captain." Hearing what Li Yao said, the two strong men who were inseparable behind her also bowed their heads respectfully. Those who were lying on the ground heard that Li Yao was going to join Qin Tian's command. I didn't dare to rest for a while. They propped themselves up from the deck and stood up. Facing 06, Qin Tian bowed and begged, "Your Excellency, please take us in, we really have nowhere to go." And this time, Qin Tian also heard the sound of the will of the planet. "Li Yao level S, Zhang Zhengyi level A, and Yan Bin level A, request to join, do you agree? Dong Zhuang grade B, Chu Hongbao grade B, Zula grade B, Song Zhiqing grade B, Tang Ming grade B. Request to join, do you agree?" Hear the will of the planet finish reading the names of these 12 people. Qin Tian chose to agree without hesitation. Ding! Congratulations to the captain for recruiting 12 new crew members, the captain can check it by himself. Hear the voice of the will of the planet. Qin Tian immediately opened the attributes panel of Li Yao and the others. Name: Li Yao. Specialty: Combat. Talent: S grade. Talent skill: Combat proficiency level S is proficient in all hot and cold weapons. When fighting the enemy, the combat power is increased by 200%, and the injury protection is increased by 70%, which lasts for 5 minutes. Cooling time is 1 minute. Characteristics: when entering the battle state, increase the damage bonus of the battleship on duty by 5%, and attach a protective shield with 10% HP of the battleship on duty to the battleship on duty at the same time. Loyalty. Introduction. Born in an ancient martial arts family, the proud girl of heaven is chivalrous, courageous, talented, and has the powerful ability to become more and more courageous in battle. At the age of 18, she joined the Kanglan expedition team formed by her friends. 4 years later, she encountered an elite King-level sea beast during the expedition. King Shuangui attacked, the whole team was defeated, and finally fell on the spot. Name: Zhang Zhengyi. Specialty: Combat. Talent: Grade A. Loyalty: 85. Introduction. Li Yao's #1 younger brother in Kang Lan's team, with extraordinary strength. Name: Yan Bin. Specialty: Combat. Talent: Grade A. Loyalty: 87. Introduction. The second younger brother of Li Yao in Kang Lan's team, with extraordinary strength. Look at the attributes of these 3 people. Qin Tian nodded in satisfaction. With these 3 people, at least when facing a gang war with a small number of enemies, you just need to equip them well. It shouldn't be a problem to have one enemy against dozens. And Qin Tian at this moment is 100% certain. My divine detective technique definitely automatically blocked those NPC crew members below B rank. No wonder I haven't been able to meet the crew members in distress for such a long time. Emotional issues arise here, but it won't work like this. There must be some small soldiers for Rui and Li Yao to come, right? Otherwise, you will encounter a large-scale gang-jumping battle. There are not enough troops on the battleship to resist. Forget it, we'll talk about these later. For the time being, let's settle down these 12 people first. There are 12 more people at once. He didn't know if there was enough room yet. And at this moment, the golden light that originally wrapped the battleship suddenly flickered violently a few times. Then the light gradually dimmed, until it goes out. Qin Tian's warship finally successfully upgraded to a large cruiser. Li Yao looked at this warship, which was a circle larger than the Kanglan she stayed on before. And the naval guns with many barrels. For a moment, a very satisfied smile appeared on his face. As a crew member, it is also a very happy thing to be able to serve a captain with outstanding combat power. At least you don't have to worry about the battleship you just joined. Before I could wait for anything, it was sunk by someone else. Captain, has this battleship of yours just been upgraded to a battleship? It looks pretty powerful. Li Yao said admiringly to Qin Tian. He, Captain Li, you are mistaken. Our captain's battleship has just been upgraded to a large cruiser, not a battleship yet. Hear Li Yao's words. Without Qin Tian opening his mouth to explain, Yu Hai had already described the situation of the battleship. What? Not a battleship, a cruiser. When Li Yao heard this, her chapped lips instantly opened into an O shape. The huge magnitude caused several openings on her lips to be split open, and scarlet blood flowed out. But she didn't respond at all. Ha ha ha, this is the strength of our captain, Captain Lee. You didn't know it when you first came here. Our battleship has already killed a battleship abruptly when it was a destroyer, and later it became a cruiser, and even more so. Killed several battleships. Ma Yongganian also spoke. This shocked all 12 people including Li Yao. Destroyers beat battleships. Is there such a crazy thing in this world? But if it is true, it means that the captain he is loyal to now will be such a powerful talent. Cruisers and even 640 destroyers can no longer be battleships. Wouldn't it be necessary to dominate the entire sea area after being upgraded to a battleship? But Qin Tian looked at Li Yao and the others were all wet. His lips were getting chapped and chapped one by one. I'm not going to talk anymore for a while, he said directly. Let's go down and get you some water to drink. Then he took the lead and walked under the cabin. Seeing this, the rest of the crowd followed behind. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw this scene. Qin Tian was quite satisfied in his heart. Wait for these people to be cultivated. The work efficiency of his battleship is afraid that it will be greatly improved. Bring everyone to the restaurant. Qin Tian asked Yu Dai and Ma Yongganian to fetch water. The two nodded. He went into the kitchen and took out the bottle that Qin Tian closed before and gave each of them a bottle of water. Sea water. The 12 people, including Li Yao, couldn't care less about elegance and decency. After taking it and saying thank you, gudong, I drank the whole bottle of water in one go. At this time, Qin Tian also found what he wanted from the trading market. 10 sets of navy suits. He bought the 10 sets of clothes directly with 5 bottles of water. Captain Lee, then you should take your people to take a bath first, and wash off the seawater on your body, so as not to cause harm to your body. 43%. Chapter 218 Large Cruiser, Sky-High Price Breakthrough Supplies. Captain Lee, then you should take your people to take a bath first, and wash off the seawater on your body, so as not to cause harm to your body. Seeing that Li Yao and the others had almost rested, Qin Tian immediately spoke to Li Yao. Soaked in the sea with such high salinity for such a long time. If you don't clean it with fresh water after landing, the skin is easily damaged by erosion. At that time, it will be very uncomfortable when it is dry, cracked and itchy. Take a shower. Captain, can we still take a shower here? And heard Qin Tian's words. Li Yao was stunned for a moment. Mei's eyes were as big as copper bells, and she couldn't believe her ears. Seriously, you can take a shower on this battleship? To know, even if it was the battleship Kanglan that she stayed on before. At most, let her connect a few basins of water to wipe her body. Water resources are so precious, how can there be extra water for her to squander in the shower? Ha ha ha, Captain Lee, don't worry, the water purifiers on our battleship have a relatively strong filtering effect, so the captain specially set up 2 bathrooms for men and women. As long as the water consumption is not too large at one time, it's okay for a dozen people to take a bath. Questionable. With a smile, Yu Dai showed off the powerful advantages of his own captain in front of Li Yao. That is not bad water. Lie on. Behind them, Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin were also shocked when they heard this. Their eyeballs were about to fall off. They followed the big sister and seemed to join an amazing battleship. Wherever you go, here is a vast ocean of warships. Who doesn't know the preciousness of water? Moreover, this cruiser has sufficient water resources, and its firepower is much higher than that of ordinary battleships. It seems that it is still cool everywhere after entering. This is obviously because a central air conditioner covering the entire ship has also been installed. Back then, their Kanglan was fortunate enough to be equipped with a set. So their feelings are more intuitive. There is central air conditioning. There is convenient running water. There are also men's and women's bathrooms where you can take a shower. Isn't the interior configuration of this battleship too luxurious? Qin Tian took out 9 of the 10 sets of blue navy uniforms he had just bought from the trading market and put them on the table. Then he said to Li Yao, Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin, these clothes are not enough, wait a moment, I will go get your clothes. Quote. Finished. He got up and went back to his room. He took out 3 sets of the military uniform he was wearing from the cabinet and returned to the dining room. Ma Yongganian, the other 9 B-level talented crew members, and the 9 sets of blue navy uniforms on the dining table were all gone. Only Yu Dai was telling Li Yao about some things on the boat. Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin stood quietly behind Li Yao like 2 door gods and listened attentively to Yu Dai's introduction. As for Ray, he was nowhere to be seen. Probably bored. I went back to my room to rest. Captain, see Qin Tian come back. Several people immediately turned around and shouted respectfully. Qin Tian nodded, walked over and put the 3 sets of military uniforms in his hands on the dining table, and said, I didn't expect that there would be so many of you all at once, and I just bought 10 sets of those in the trading market. Military uniform, so you 3 can wear ours. While talking, Qin Tian looked around and asked, those people went to take a bath. Yu Dai nodded, and said, I'm afraid that if Captain Li and the others wash together, there will be too many people. If the water purifier can't filter it, it will be troublesome, so let the old horse take them to wash first. Qin Tian nodded upon hearing this. As expected of an experienced old sailor, this consideration is comprehensive. Then he looked at Yu Heidao again. Old Yu, how many rooms does our battleship have now? Is it enough for them to live in? Yu Dai nodded, and said, don't worry, Captain, there are more than 20 rest cabins, which are enough to live in, and now we have a single room because of the sufficient space and the small number of crew members. We are all crowded into a rest cabin by several people to rest. Qin Tian nodded when he heard the words, and then said to Li Yao, then Captain Li, you and Lao Yu stay here first. After they finish washing, you go to wash, I will go to your room first, connect the water pipes and the air conditioner. Okay, Captain, sorry for your trouble. Li Yao said gratefully upon hearing this. This moment, even she is somewhat looking forward to the wonderful life on this battleship. This living condition is comparable to the life of the nobles of their time. Thank you, Captain. Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin also hurriedly bowed. After Qin Tian nodded, he left the restaurant. Start consuming plastic to connect water pipes and air conditioning pipes in each rest cabin. As he took over from one rest cabin to one rest cabin. It is obvious that the aisle of the entire battleship has been lengthened and widened a lot. Looks like this is an upgrade. The size of the battleship has increased considerably. Thinking that my battleship has now become a large cruiser. He also wanted to know how much material he needed to break through the battleship. With a thought, he opened the attribute panel of the battleship. Name, large cruiser. Displacement, 26,005 tons. ER 251.8 times 28.3 times 18.1. 40,850. I, 35947-40233. Defense, 1300. Strengthened fire control system. Power system, UQD 3100 gas turbine times 4. Speed, 30 plus 5 knots. Weapon system. Double AK 130 mm naval gun orange X1, 203 mm dual main gun green X4, 127 mm single secondary gun green X16, mythical Y11 30 close in anti-aircraft gun X20, Genesis class dual 57 mm naval guns colorful times 1, dual 57 mm naval guns orange times 1, mythical class 52 122 mm rocket launchers red times 2, mythical class Y15 anti-ship missiles, triple 450 mm torpedo launcher X3 Li Mahao, fire control radar orange. Strengthen the missile device. Enhance the radar system. Enhanced torpedo system. Ordinary advancement. 1.2 million low-quality wood, 1.5 million low-quality plastic, 900,000 low-quality nails, and 1 million low-quality metal pieces, which can be advanced into a small battleship common. High-quality goods advanced. 1 million ordinary wood, 1.2 million ordinary plastics, 800,000 ordinary nails, and 1 million ordinary metal sheets, which can be advanced into small battleships excellent. Advanced advancement. 1.5 million high-quality wood, 2 million high-quality plastics, 1.2 million high-quality nails, 2.2 million high-quality metal sheets, which can be advanced into small battleships extreme. Hiss. When you see the material requirements of advanced. Qin Tian shook his hands and swallowed the saliva in his mouth forcefully. Good guy, although knowing that the materials he needs to break through the battleship may be a lot of trouble. But I didn't expect it to be so much. 43%. Chapter 219 Purchasing Daily Necessities, aiming at the Black Turtle. The quantity of this material is already comparable to the sky-high price. It's the kind of transaction ticket that earned the little devil before. At least 3 or 4 orders or even 5 or 6 orders have to be tossed to make up this amount of supplies. But now the extreme heat is over. If I want to seize that kind of opportunity again, I don't know that it will be the year of the ox. Helplessly shook his head. Qin Tian connected all the rest cabins to the water pipes and air conditioners one by one. Wait until you get back to the restaurant. I saw that Li Yao and the others had already finished the shower. After changing into clean new clothes, I sat in the restaurant. He saw Qin Tian walking in. Li Yao and the newcomers stood up to greet them. Captain. Qin Tian nodded upon hearing this. Walked over to find a table and sat down. Not to mention, except that Li Yao was a little different from the disciplined Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin. These B-level talented crew members are all disheveled and downcast, and it really doesn't make sense. But now I take a shower and change my clothes. The spiritual outlook of a group of people was improved in an instant. It's just compared with Li Yao. They are not a star and a half. I saw Li Yao casually loosening her long black and thick hair behind her waist. The exquisite three-dimensional face that is fair and delicate but full of heroism is revealed. Qin Tian, who is used to seeing all kinds of beauties, couldn't help but secretly admired 990 times. This means that his wife Mu Ningxie is a big beauty who is a little bit prettier than her. Otherwise, just meet so rashly. Qin Tian's eyes couldn't be more straight. But 9 times out of 10 the first reaction will be sluggish for a few seconds. In this case, it will inevitably leave a bad impression on the hearts of these newly joined crew members. And it is true. More than 10 people including Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin. After seeing Qin Tian and Li Yao's face, he just nodded lightly and sat down at a dining table not far away. All of them were shocked by the situation. Good guy. This was the first time they saw a man who could not be moved by Li Yao's beauty. Sir Captain, wouldn't it be an orientation problem? For a moment, Zhang Zhengyi and the others looked at each other in blank dismay, and at the same time, they had such an idea in their hearts. Of course, Qin Tian at this time didn't know about those weird ideas in Zhang Zhengyi's mind. Seeing the crew increase, Qin Tian suddenly remembered that these crew members had never had any decent toiletries. So he sat at the dining table and opened the trading market. Quickly browsed the dazzling array of products. Been browsing dozens of pages. Not to mention, there are a lot of daily necessities in it. For example, there are a lot of toothbrush sets, tooth cups, towel synthesis skills books, stainless steel bowl synthesis skills books, boxes of shampoo, boxes of shower gel, and so on. Qin Tian immediately consumed the plastic and started rubbing out the empty bottle. Watch the empty bottles pile up on the table in no time. Li Yao came over with some doubts and asked, Captain, did you get so many empty bottles? Take it and fill it with water. Qin Tian said directly to her. Oh, okay. Li Yao, who was half a beat late to react, nodded. Although he was still a little confused, he still obediently took the plastic bottle and went to the tap not far away to collect water. And I saw that most of my big sisters started to work. Where else can others sit still? Immediately, they also ran over and took the empty water bottles in 2s and 3s to the faucet to line up to receive water. See this scene. Qin Tian secretly nodded in his heart. Say nothing else. At least this vision is still there. Bring over the water you have collected and put it on the table. Qin Tian said to them. Okay, Long, hear him. Everyone nodded in response. Soon a water bottle full of water was placed on the dining table in front of Qin Tian. And Qin Tian nodded. Holding these waters, I began to buy in the trading market. While continuing to rub out the empty bottle, he first found a 100 pack of toothbrush sets. Replaced it with 20 bottles of water. Then I exchanged 5 bottles of water for 30 toothbrush cups. 10 bottles of water were exchanged for the towel synthesis skill book. Replaced 10 bottles of water with a stainless steel bowl synthesis skill book. The rest of the shampoo and shower gel are the same AJ, and all the ones that don't fall off have been replaced. Just when Li Yao and the others didn't know why Qin Tian made them drink so much water. Suddenly there was a big box on the table in front of Qin Tian. The grooves inside are densely filled with colorful toothbrushes and dozens of large boxes of toothpaste. Followed by 2 synthetic skill books and 2 cardboard boxes. Ah, Captain, this is. Li Yao looked at the extra table and looked at Qin Tian curiously. Well, our next daily necessities, after I use these 2 synthesis skill books. Talking, Qin Tian picked up the 2 synthesis skill books on the table and chose to use them. Congratulations to the captain for successfully learning the towel synthesis skill. Congratulations to the captain for successfully learning the stainless steel bowl synthesis skill. Hear the voice of the will of the planet. With a thought, Qin Tian opened the synthesis interface. I saw a towel module and a stainless steel bowl module inside. A towel is a towel made from every rag. The stainless steel bowl is a stainless steel bowl synthesized by each unit of inferior metal sheet. Qin Tian immediately synthesized 20 towels and 20 stainless steel bowls with 20 pieces of rags and 20 units of low-quality metal pieces. See these. Only then did Li Yao understand. I feel that the captain of my own family just took the water to trade items. The NPC's mind was directly implanted with some knowledge about gods chosen by the will of the world. So I know a little bit. And Qin Tian, after finishing all this, looking at Li Yao and Ma Yongganian, he said, "This is a toothbrush, toothpaste, towel and toiletries. The box contains shower gel and shampoo. You will distribute it to everyone later. Ma, you will send these 20 stainless steel bowls to everyone later, into the kitchen." Ma Yongganian nodded upon hearing this. He picked up the stack of stainless steel bowls and went into the kitchen. Dinner is boiled fish soup and grilled moss dragon king meat. The fish soup is all served in that brand new stainless steel bowl. The smell is very appetizing. When Li Yao and the 12 of them picked up the grilled Kanglong king meat and ate the first bite, the taste buds of the whole person exploded at once. A meal almost made the 12 new seamen including Li Yao swallow their tongues. It was so delicious. They have been exploring the sea for so many years. This is the first time in my life to eat such delicious fish soup and barbecue. After eating and drinking, Qin Tian looked at the crowd and said, "You guys have a good night's rest tonight, and I will take you to meet that black turtle for a while in the daytime tomorrow to see what's so special about him." "What? But, Captain, there is absolutely no need for us to provoke that black turtle." Hearing Qin Tian's words, Li Yao also said with her heart beating a few times, "No, I have very high quality sea beast teeth in my hand now, and this black turtle you met can be said to have solved my urgent need." Qin Tian said with a smile. "But, Captain, that mysterious tortoise is very powerful, he is the absolute king among sea beasts." Li Yao still said worriedly. 44%. Chapter 220. Where is the ferocious firepower that was agreed upon? This is the result. Seeing that Li Yao has a lot of psychological shadow on that black turtle, Qin Tian smiled immediately and said, "Don't worry, after tomorrow's battle, you will have an intuitive feeling about the combat effectiveness of our warship." Hearing Qin Tian's confident words, Li Yao moved her lips, wanting to say something else. But it doesn't seem good to think of contradicting your immediate boss again and again just after taking the oath of allegiance. So she could only swallow the words that came to her mouth. Qin Tian looked at her and smiled. Then he said, "Okay, Lao Yu, you will take them to arrange a room for them in a while, and I will go to the deck to eat and drink." Finished. Qin Tian came to the deck, turned around the entire battleship in a circle. Have to say, this time the battleship was upgraded to 251 meters long and 28 meters wide. When Qin Tian stood at the bow of the ship and looked back at that huge figure, he couldn't help feeling a little proud in his heart. Not to mention battleships. Even the cruisers are of the level of battleships that he never even dared to imagine in his previous life. But in this life, his battleship has not only been upgraded to a cruiser, and it is also a super cruiser that can easily hang battleships. The blood volume of 40,850 is probably not much less than those large battleships. The attack value of 35,000 to 40,000 is even more amazing. 1003's defense also gave him the confidence to easily resist the siege of a small fleet. But that's not enough. His wife was actually assassinated in this world. This is no longer a challenge to him by those big capitalists. Instead, he simply rode on his neck and rolled up his sleeves to pull out his reverse scales. Since cruisers can't make those big capitalists feel fear, then just work harder. If not a cruiser, then a battleship. If not a battleship, then an aircraft carrier. There is always one that can make them dread. Think here. Qin Tian took a deep breath. After a round on the deck went to the control room. Captain saw him come in. Wei Chen, Yao Lang and Ma Fei all greeted him one after another. Qin Tian nodded. He said directly to Wei Chen, "Ah Chen, sail about 5 nautical miles in the direction of 2 o'clock. "Yes, Captain." Hear Qin Tian's words. Wei Chen immediately followed suit without any hesitation. After the battleship arrived at the location indicated by Qin Tian, I saw it outside the peripheral vision of the searchlight. A huge turtle-like sea beast with a dark blue body and several blood-red fluorescent lines all over its body is quietly crawling on the sea surface and sleeping with its eyes closed. That mountain-like body is at least 200 or 300 meters high. The length of the body is beyond the peripheral vision of the searchlight. I don't know how long it is. Presumably this is the terrifying black turtle that Li Yao mentioned. And seeing this giant, Yao Lang, Ma Fei and Wei Chen couldn't help but gasped. Good guy. This sea beast is too scary. Although the size of this sea beast is not the largest among the sea beasts they have dealt with. But that bloodthirsty and calm momentum is the strongest. So much so that he simply glanced at it. It made all of them have an indestructible and powerful psychological suggestion. And facing the calm momentum of this mysterious turtle, Qin Tian just silently used a divine detective technique on it. Elite Turtle King. M. 352,352 Hiss. When Qin Tian saw this blood volume, at this moment, he suddenly understood why Li Yao, who had a fighting talent, was psychologically shadowed when facing this black turtle. 352,000 blood. In addition, that Gao did not know how much defense he had. Not to mention battleships, it is estimated that even an aircraft carrier in the trash spot of fighter jets may not be able to drive past this perverted black turtle. This guy probably didn't leverage his blood volume. If this is to get hundreds of millions of blood, 100% is the world's top boss in the world of warships. Taking a deep breath, Qin Tian said to Wei Chen, "Chen, let the battleship circle around this sea beast. Alang, pay attention to the distance, and be careful not to attract the enemy's hatred value. Ah Fei, check all the firepower system. We will start attacking at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning." "Yes, Captain." Hear Qin Tian's order. The three immediately said loudly. In their view, as long as your captain says you can fight. In all likelihood, the combat power standards of both sides have already been evaluated. Victory must belong to one's own side. After exhorting the three of them. After Qin Tian patted their shoulders, he opened the door and returned to the cabin. After resupplying ammunition to all the ammunition bays, he returned to the rest cabin. Went to bed after watering the orange, apple and cucumber vines. Zero seeking flowers. Nothing to say all night. 8 o'clock the next morning. After Qin Tian had a sumptuous breakfast in the dining room with all the crew members. Immediately announced the next action. Attack the elite Zon Turtle King a few nautical miles away. Although the B-level talented crew all turned pale with fright. But in order not to leave a bad impression on his immediate boss. It's all big grudging claims. It's just that anyone can hear the lack of confidence in that tone. Qin Tian didn't say much about it. They had never seen the firepower of their warships. This reaction is understandable. Just take today's opportunity to hunt and kill king-level sea beasts to obtain top-grade sea beast teeth. On the other hand, it is to boost the morale of these new crew members. Okay, as rookies, in order to let you have an intuitive understanding of your warship, you will follow Lao Yu and Lao Ma to observe the battle on the deck. At 9 o'clock, we will meet Zon the Turtle King is hunting. After giving these orders, Qin Tian brought Rui, Li Yao, Zhang Zhengyi and Yan Bin to the control room. 9 o'clock came quickly amid the panic and a little expectation of the crew. At this moment, Qin Tian had a thought. Directly wear the brilliant title Ocean Expeditionary. Fire. Following Qin Tian's order in the control room. The entire battleship immediately started roaring with full firepower like the god of war revived. All the naval guns bombarded the Black Turtle several kilometers away. In addition to the orange double AK 130mm naval gun and the Genesis-class dual 57mm naval gun, which can shoot 200 or 300 HP. The rest of the naval guns fired 100 or 200 HP. This surprised Li Yao, who had been paying close attention to the damage of the battleship, and the new crew members. Their Kanglan naval guns only had 9 main guns that could produce about 200 HP. The rest of the naval guns shot out dozens of drops of blood. Unexpectedly, every gun of Qin Tian's cruiser can shoot triple-digit HP. Only surprises are surprises. A faint disappointment quickly rose in their hearts. I thought what Qin Tian said was so swearing. How ferocious the firepower of this heavy cruiser will be. This is the result. It's just that they haven't waited for them to say anything. The rockets flying all over the sky from behind the shipbuilding also bombarded the shells of the Black Turtle. Building also bombarded the shells of the Black Turtle. Building also bombarded